and may only what's for the highest good occur regarding this live here. Hello, how's it going today, everybody? How's everybody's Sunday going? How's it going, little Snap Crackle? How are you doing? Got a little bit of a different angle here today. I had to get a new ring light. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Wait, I can swipe to view more comments. What is going on here? Hey, Bree, how's it going? Good morning, Rachel Williams. I'm a little bit. You having a good week? Good to hear it. Happy Sunday, Marina. How are you doing? How's everyone doing today? All right. So I hope everyone's having a good Easter. Hey, that's your girl. How's it going? How's it going? Good morning. Good morning, Andy Pandy Pie. Good morning, Crafty Teacher. How's it going? Favorite shirt? Heck yeah. Yeah, this is the one, you might already know this, but this is the one Ruda made. Ruda Rosa Mimosa, I think is her TikTok handle. Heck yeah. Heck yeah, Rachel Williams. No, doing okay. Got to the gym and found out they canceled the yoga class you were going to. You'll find a better one, is what I'm getting. Sometimes it's just time to progress, you know, and so that's kind of what's what I'm getting for you on that one. Yeah, I mean, if you like the shirt, I think I don't have any real affiliation or kickback from it, but Ruda Rosa Mimosa's Redbubble account, it's for sale there. I think she has some other cool mandala things too. Hey, Madi, how's it going? Madi's really cool, by the way, guys. If you ever need a really good healing session, she is fantastic. Madi Lunawich, highly recommend. And if you're anywhere near Illinois or the Chicago area, she is a fantastic massage therapist. One of the best I've ever encountered. So I'll throw that out there. So again, if you need a healing session, Madi Lunawich, great energy worker. One of my personal go-tos. So anyways, I don't know if anyone did a Q&A question yet. Oh, it doesn't look like it. Okay, yeah, no worries. So we're gonna jump into Q&A here. Yeah, so one of the best ways if you want to ask a question or get a reading, and we'll see what I'm guided to do for this live. I know it's Easter. It's kind of one of those cool like turning point kind of days or rebirth days. So we'll see if I'm guided to do a channel or what comes through. Fully for the highest good, of course. Good morning, Aspiring Human. Great to see you. I am so glad you guys are all here. I love seeing you every Sunday. Let's see. But one of the best places to put your questions, if you want me to channel an answer or do a reading, is in the Q&A box, and that'll be much easier for me to get to it. And looks like y'all already did here. Bree Leerod asked, should they move in with Daniel in November or wait? The one I'm getting to recommend is the second one, to wait. That's awesome that you guys are dating. That's really cool. So let's see here. What I'm getting is wait and let it develop more, but I'm really glad that you are dating and you found someone, Bree, and I hope that goes really well for you. Of course. So why not move in November? What I'm getting is it might be better if you guys get to know each other a little bit more. That's just the advice I'm getting for you, so I hope that's helpful. That's just what I'm getting for you. Okay. Crafty Teacher, asked, can I pull a card for them? So fully for the highest good, what does Spirit, the Angels, Source, the Spirit Guides, the True Isolate want to say? Happy Easter, Prince Priestess. They're saying this is for you. They might have me pull one more here. We have what you want wants you. Oh, excuse me. Unmirror. Okay. Now I have to adjust this a little bit so I can feel like I'm in the center of the screen. All right. What you want wants you is the card I'm getting for you, crafty teacher here. And they're really drawing what they're pointing me to is the spiral at the top, and they're saying spiral as they do that. I get this weird message for you first and foremost that nothing is spiraling out of control. Even if things seem like they're spiraling out of control worldwide, they really aren't. Even if in your personal life things seem like they're spiraling, whether it seems like out of control or just in general, they're actually spiraling you, if I can get that word out of my mouth, to right where you need to go and want to be even is one thing I'm getting as well. For some reason, they're bringing through the message, you are not alone. It's like the angels are always with you. And sometimes you think you're alone, but there's actually an army of angels with you, like marching with you or trying to work things out in your favor, or working things out in your favor as well. So there's just a reminder there as well. I don't know if it's a common message, but another message that they like to bring through, but there are these clouds, and as I look at the clouds in the background of this card up in the sky, they show me the words dream big along with them. And I get this message, like sometimes, you think you're done, like with life or with growth or with what you can achieve, but there's actually so much more for you is something they're saying. So don't feel like you're done with where you're at or how far you've come. Like in a good way, there's so much more to come. And that's not to say like, oh, you have all this strife ahead of you. It's more like, no, there's so much further you can go if you want to. So anything else with this card for you that would be for your highest good to know? What would be highest and best to come through for you? That's good here. We want another card here. So the other card coming out for you is Be the Hunter, Not the Hunted. This is the Sacred Rebels Oracle card deck by Alana Fairchild, if anyone's curious. So Owl Spirit Animal coming out first and foremost is the first thing that jumps out at me. But let me see what the channel messages for you are regarding this card here. This is kind of going back to the Dream Big message, actually, with that first card. It's kind of a message of like, don't be complacent, like take action. And I also get this message for you that you're meant for bigger than what you're going through. So don't feel like you need to play small or that the common message I seem to be getting as I'm putting these messages together is like, play big, not small, and don't feel like you're stuck where you are, and don't feel like things can't get bigger for you or you can't go for more in your life, essentially. Another thing with the owl is there is a lot of knowing coming online for you, and like they give me the phrase like, oh, she's gonna know, so what are you gonna know here? What they're kind of saying to me is if you've been struggling making choices, you're gonna have an easier time making choices coming up soon here, and you're gonna be seeing clearly. Like this owl is not blinking. It's just, for some reason, like I'm sure owls blink in real life, but in this card, like they just had my eyes pointing at its eyes, and it just, the word that are coming to me are like, this owl doesn't blink. Like it doesn't miss a beat. And likewise, you might think you're missing things, but you're not, is what I'm getting. You're catching everything you're supposed to. And if you are going to be on the right track, if you feel like you're not. They're also, this is card number 8. They're pointing my eyes to the number 8 at the bottom, which signifies abundance. I don't know if what they're saying is next year you're going to be more abundant, essentially. And you're headed into that. And sometimes there's a bit of a journey to get there, but what I'm getting is you're going to be feeling way more abundant next year, essentially. With the seed of life kind of thing, I think it's more of like a toroidal field, but they're quantifying it as a seed of life for you. With the seed of life on this card, what they're saying is it's a good time to plant seeds for your future, like with your dreams and goals and ambitions. And I suppose you could say take action. With the Be the Hunter, Not the Hunted, it kind of does mean take action in some ways. Who's talking about weak form of witchcraft? What are y'all talking about? Do I need to jump in here in this conversation? Anyways, let's see here. So what's important for you to know, crafty teacher? Let me get undistracted here. Another message that they're showing me, which doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the card, is they just kind of gave me a visual of you with like these. If you've ever played the video game The Legend of Zelda, like there's this item in that game that's like a healing potion, and for some reason they just showed you with like this row of like healing potions and different like potions, if that makes sense. And one of the messages that in the game, what happens is when you drink one of these healing potions, all your hearts are restored, essentially, or a lot of your health bar is restored. And so one message I'm also getting for you is you're going to be healed, essentially. So if you feel like you've been running on half empty, that's going to be healed soon. The next few months, you're going to be feeling more restored and more like you have a full tank of gas instead of like you're running on low batteries there constantly. I also get a weird message for you, like don't drink too much coffee if you have been, or if you've already been cutting back, that's a good move for you, essentially. For some reason, that's coming through as a random message. So I hope that helps you, crafty teacher. I'm going to move to the next Q&A question here that they want me to get to. And I just, for anyone new here, I do just answer these questions as I'm guided to. There's, is there a rhyme or reason? Yes, on a divine intelligence level. But I'm not just like intentionally skipping over ones unless I'm divinely guided to. Also, sometimes these show up really randomly in the Q&A box when I go to answer a question. So that's something to keep in mind here. Okay, so fully flash good. How can I handle emotional triggers? So I might butcher this username, Maso Mza. Okay. Masamza asked, how can they handle emotional triggers? Any angelic advice for them here? Weirdly enough, the first thing they're showing is a piece of advice, and no affiliation, by the way. No affiliation whatsoever. There's this website called twistedsage.com, and they sell these really cool energy tools. So if you ever feel drawn to any of those, like look it up, see if you feel drawn to it, see if it's something you're drawn to. But there is this line of tools called like the wisdom tools that they came out with. Like there's a wisdom wand and things like that. And one of the things you can do, it's not the only way, it's a way that they're recommending for you right now, and we'll get into other things they have to say as well, is like one thing you can do when you have a trigger is you can kind of sit with one of those tools and put your attention on the tool and put your attention on the trigger and the situation. And it's kind of a way to do energy work for that situation and shift it and kind of heal it and release or shift your perspective or whatever needs to happen for the highest good regarding that situation. I feel like those tools would be good for you in general. And again, I'm no affiliation. I just like a lot of their tools. Beyond that, what else would be for your highest good right now here? Another recommendation they have for you in particular, if you don't already, is moving your body, like either some form of exercise or yoga or even dance. And that's to help work, let me see how they want me to say this, but it's how to help, it's to help work things out of your system is what I'm trying to say. Like if you get triggered and you sit with something and you're having an emotional release, it can get any trapped emotion out of your body, and it's another way to release, you could say. And they're really pointing more towards yoga or something more gentle for that, and that's what can make massage therapy an effective form of healing as well. One of the many things is it does help to release stuck emotions or energies as well. So that's another thing they want to say to help with emotional triggers, besides just sitting with it, using some energy work like with a tensor tool or something like that. So anything else that would help you regarding emotional triggers for your highest good at this time? Let's see. Weirdly enough, and this is just a good thing to have in general, another piece of advice they have, aside from just, because triggers are kind of meant to... there's a lot of ways I could talk about this. They recommended a gratitude journal as another thing, interestingly enough, and that's part about shifting your focus so you're less wrapped up in the emotional turmoil of a trigger and you're more apt to be drawn towards what you're grateful for. And that's not about what some people might call spiritual bypassing. It's more just shifting your overall focus so you're coming from a better place. But beyond that, like most triggers are here to teach you where you need to heal. They're here to be a teacher. They're not here to tank or ruin your life. And a way you could look at it is unpacking your engine and your belief systems and your emotional world and allowing your triggers to guide you to where you need the healing. If you're in this spot, if for anyone else listening, it can be a good thing to do like an intuitive exercise about, or do some, if you do channeling in any way, shape, or form yourself, you can ask, okay, you can talk to your guides or your soul or the angels or God, or it could be Jesus or whatever resonates for you. And you just ask, okay, like, what do I need to know about this trigger? Or what is this trigger trying to show me? Or when's the first time I felt like this? And then you can kind of dig into, oh, is this like past life related? Okay. Is it current life? Oh, when is this from? Oh, it's from childhood. Oh, it has to do with my parents. Oh, okay. So you can kind of unpack it that way as well, and kind of help move the trigger in some ways by getting to the root of it. And I'm guessing I'm just going to give you a ton of different advice here. One of the other things that's popping in as I'm talking about just emotions and stuff like this is there was a lady she still exists, she's still here. She goes by the name Sark, like S-A-R-K, and she's a writer. And I only listened to her on a podcast that Lee Harris was doing. But what she talked about as far as emotional healing was like, if you have an emotion or a trigger, maybe more like an emotion, and you notice it, like try not to stuff it down. And I think sometimes with law of attraction, certain people, I think I'm going off on a tangent they don't want me to go off of. So getting back to the point, but if you have a certain emotion like fear pop up, you acknowledge it, like, okay, and then I acknowledge you're there, and that'll tend to help it like resolve a bit. And then when you have a moment, you can sit down and write your emotions down, and it's just a way to release it and get it out. And then when you're done, you can look at it, or you can just rip it up, or you can burn it, or you can again rip it up, put it in the recycling bin. It's another way to help release and get it out, instead of like examining, and being stuck in that loop of trigger and emotion, and then thoughts and stories about why it's happening, and then it just perpetuates the emotion, and it's a whole mess, which you don't need to live in. So I hope that was helpful to you. I think you also asked a question about, let me see, your journey as a mother. I do get that your self-healing, like you're asking about here, about triggers, is the perfect place to start. Of course, don't get so wrapped up in it that you forget about your baby or whoever you're mothering. But let's see what they want to say. What I'm getting is you're going to be great because you're going to be consciously increasing your awareness, both for yourself and just in general, which will help you with your awareness as a mother and how to go about certain situations. I feel like you're a natural caregiver. In a lot of ways, in some ways, you're actually worried for nothing is one thing I'm getting, though I think I don't want to say worrying is ever a good sign, but it's good that you want to be a good mother, if that makes sense, and you're asking about it in the first place. I think that's a really good sign. So beyond that, what else do you need to know? What would be best for you to know? One thing that they have to say as advice is like, there are going to be a lot of things you don't necessarily have control of, and they're like, hey, just give it up to God, because like sometimes when you just spend too much time worrying about things you don't have control over, it's kind of like there's a better way to step into your empowerment than just staying in that worry over things you can't control, if that makes sense. So try to move in that direction of being empowered and focusing on what you can control, instead of, just trying to control every little detail of everything. I guess the only other thing they want to say is like, let them be their own person. They're going to be a unique individual, and they might not be how you want them to be, but they'll be perfect for them in the ways they need to be, if that makes sense. So as long as you're not trying to bend them to your will 24/7, you'll be fine. Though I know there's a certain amount of like parenting you have to do to make sure they don't stick a fork in electric sockets or anything like that. So I hope that was helpful for you. I hope that answered a bit more of that. I want to pull a card. Our Lady of Truth coming out for you. I forget your username, whoever I was answering. And for some reason I'm getting this message like, hey, ask for the truth to be revealed about like everything you're going through. And I'm getting this weird message like one kernel of truth is worth 1,000 lies. So why is this important for you right now? And the reason this is important is like the more truth you have in your life, the easier it is to parent, the easier it is to approach things. And it can be very healing, even if a certain truth isn't exactly what you want to hear. when you hear it, it does eventually set you free because you're not living in a lie or trying to work through things where you don't have the truth. It's a bit like turning the light switch on in a room, I suppose you could say, instead of trying to stumble through it blindly. So anything else that would be for your eyes good here? For some reason, the main message is really about manifesting truth and like asking for it and allowing it to be unveiled to you. And that for some reason, they're saying that's going to help you with your motherhood. So truth about the kid, truth about you, truth about your triggers. I feel like asking for truth and just asking for it's going to unveil a lot for you. So I hope that helps you wherever you are in the world. Let me see here. Katerina asked, so you're wondering if you're going to be okay? Yes is the short answer. Let me see how they want to say this. You're going to be very okay. There might be things that are disconcerting. You might not feel like you're okay every single time you feel like you ask this question. However, things do turn around. I'm getting some really interesting visuals for you. Like they're showing me this almost like this puzzle. It looks like a Rubik's Cube. Okay, if you're really, really confused about anything, Katerina, right now, don't worry about it too much. It's gonna be resolved. And sometimes the best thing you can do when you're trying to figure something out and you're just stuck on it is to let it go and let the answer kind of come to you as you're doing something else, if that makes sense. But I feel like you're gonna be more than okay. And there might be certain points where you don't feel like you're okay, but you actually are going to be okay. So I hope that helps, Katerina. I do get things work out in your favor, and if there is a puzzle you feel like you're resolving or something that's confusing you, it's going to resolve itself. So I hope that helps. Thank you. Very helpful. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. I'm glad to hear it. Okay. Andy Panty Pie asked, and they said they feel like quitting their job. Any advice from to highest and best infinite source here? I get not to quit right away. I would definitely start calling in a new job if we haven't talked about this on a live before. I do feel like you do have something else coming. I do feel like it is going to be coming soon. If you're in the northern hemisphere, like the summertime, maybe autumn at the latest. But right now they're recommending, hey, don't quit. I feel like there is going to be a little bit of an uplift where it's like it's more bearable. But beyond that, you are, in a sense, being called in a new direction, and you're probably going to have a stepping stone job after this that gets you more in the direction you're supposed to go. And then you'll finally know what you're supposed to be doing is what I'm getting for you. So I hope that makes sense. I wouldn't quit yet, but I would start looking for something else. And once that's lined up, yeah, I'd get out of there. Hope that helps. Like, definitely don't stay forever or anything like that. Okay. Perfect. You're welcome, Andy Pandy Pie, for the message. So Mia Hall 777. So they asked, hopefully for that's good. Oh, thank you for the confetti, April Ann. I appreciate that. So Mia Hall asked if I will please pull a card for them. It's there first. Well, welcome. The card coming out for you is Seeing the True You. They're really talking about the lily pads on this card. As I pull it, they're pointing my attention to the lily pads. So what's the main message here for you? So on the lily pads, there's this cup in the background. I've never seen that before in this card, or I've never noticed it, I should say. And they're really drawing my eyes to it. So what's the message for you regarding the cup and the lily pads here? Pretty much what they're saying for you is your cup of tea is coming, like things you actually enjoy, like what's for you. I feel like this is more about people, honestly, like people in your life. So let me see, or they're saying it's about people. So what does all this mean here? The other thing about this is, like, with the lily pads, that does go back to frog spirit animal. To me, that's about leaps of faith. And that was one of the first things I was kind of hearing first and foremost regarding this card. I don't think it's anything you need to do yet. I'm kind of getting like a not yet message when it comes to that. However, probably around this, again, summertime if you're in the northern hemisphere, which would be winter if you're in the southern, probably going to be some type of leap of faith. But it's regarding people like friends, family. If you feel like you need to if you feel like you need to jump ship with anything in the coming months, I would do it, especially if you feel like it's safe to do that. I feel like that opens space for what's for you is a message coming through for you as well regarding this card. Anything else that you need to know about the cup of tea or anything else here? Another message that is coming through in general is that taking leaps of faith where you feel guided to, where it feels right to you, is going to lead you to your cup of tea as well. But beyond that, what I am also getting is what's your cup of tea is just coming in for you, which is cool. So what else do you need to know here? Seeing the true you, this card, or anything else here. Another visual they're showing me, interestingly enough, is like Big Bird from Sesame Street. So that's really seems random. So let me see what the message is for you regarding that. Okay, weirdly enough, the message I get for you regarding that is playtime is over. Interestingly enough, there might be a few things coming in that are a little bit serious. Interestingly enough, I want to see where this message is going really quickly. 1 second here. So if anything like more serious starts to happen in your life, I don't think it's inherently a bad thing, but they are showing like this, it's like this image of Big Bird, but then all of a sudden there's like weird like World War II warplanes flying in the sky or something like that. And it's like, as long as you're willing to kind of strap up your boots and like take things seriously when you need to, like you're going to be good, honestly. You're going to be having a good time. So don't shy away from any challenges if they do present themselves. If you do face them head on, you're going to overcome them. I don't even think it's going to be that bad, and you're going to be like way better on the other side, essentially, is what I'm getting. And in some ways, it's almost like a rite of passage, you could say. And it's almost like you're graduating out of like one phase of life to another. That's kind of where you're headed. So anything else on that? And it's like, that is a good thing. I really don't like the term tests when it comes to spirituality or doing readings. And I'll tell you why before I deliver this message. That's because, the universe is already infinitely intelligent, infinitely wise. It is everything. It is you. It already knows if you're ready for something. Like, it already knows everything. And I feel like if there is a test, it's more for like you to know you can handle it, or it's more for a lesson or something that's for your highest good, more so than it is like, oh, the universe needs to see if you're ready for this. Like, it already knows if you're ready for it. Like, it just does. But regarding this graduation thing here, sometimes there is a rite of passage, like a test that you have to go through to like get to the other side or to up level. I feel like you're going to be skyrocketing through that though. So I hope that makes sense so far with the messages coming through. The other thing that's jumping out at me regarding this chair that this woman is lying in this card is like it's green, which to me, my mind goes to Archangel Raphael, which goes to healing. Let's see here. I feel like you might be more coming out of a healing phase though than entering into another one. So anything important on that or anything important about that? Okay, the other thing they're showing me with this card is if you know Mulan, sorry, I can't answer a question more than 5. I can answer a question more than 5 minutes, but it disappears up here. So hopefully it's not confusing to anyone new joining in. But for whoever I was answering the question to earlier, the other thing they're kind of showing me is like if you've ever seen Mulan, the Disney movie version, the cartoon, sorry, there's that song she's singing where she's looking in the water or the mirror and she's singing that, when will my reflection show who I am inside? Pretty much what they showed is like this woman gazing down at the water, looking at her reflection, which is probably what this card is supposed to symbolize anyways. But it's almost like she looks at it and then she goes like, bam, and she like hits the water and it's kind of like all like ripply. And she's like, and what I heard, the words I saw with that were like, you're going to be changing who you are. That's kind of what this time period is about for almost everybody in some way, shape, or form, is like becoming more you, becoming more soul embodied, changing who you are in some way, shape, or form. So if you feel called to even just do something as small as like move furniture around or change the energy of a place in that way or rearrange your desk, like sometimes that's a good like symbolic intentional action that can start to shift the energies in you as well with who you are and who you're being. So I hope that helps you. Um, the other message coming through, I can just sit with one card and get messages all day, I guess. Um, that wasn't supposed to be a toot in my own horn thing. I get this like spirally. There's a spirally thing. I forget what it's called, but it's like that seashell. That's the. I almost want to call it a double helix, but that's DNA. So, and I guess I can't toot my own horn because I can't remember what the spiral is called. But I believe it's the spiral that's along with the golden ratio. And anyways, what I'm getting with that is the word evolution, because a lot of the older creatures like fossils had that kind of spiral nautical shell. That's it, right? Nautilus shell had that design on it. So you're definitely evolving out of old patterns, which kind of fits in with all the other messages that came through. Leaps of faith, changing who you are. What's your cup of tea is coming in here. And another message I'm getting for you is they're showing me your energetic systems and showing me like your energetic systems are rearranging. So be really patient with yourself. If it feels like you do have whirlwinds of emotion or anything like that, that's going to resolve pretty quickly. It's just like your chakras are aligning, your energetic systems are kind of realigning, and it's going to happen quickly, but there might be like emotional outbursts or things like that pop up while that's adjusting. And that's so you can be a pure conduit of like the divine, of spirit in your daily life, even if no, I don't want to go live with you. Even if sorry, I had a little pop up there, someone was trying to go live with me, but hopefully you get what I was saying. I kind of lost what I was saying there, but oh yeah, if you have little emotional outbursts, it's just your systems realigning, and so you so you can be a pure conduit of spirit in your normal life, even if you don't feel like you're out there being a channeler or anything like that. You can be a conduit of spirit in your day to day, and most of you are. So, and if you're willing to do that alignment work, it's all you have to do is ask, and you will be one, and then allow yourself to be rearranged how you need to be that for the highest good. So I hope that helps. Anyways, coming back to the Q&A here. Jody Kummer's wife, one, asked, this is from Marnie, will their manifestations work? Yes. For some of them, you may have to work. For some of them is one thing I'm getting, but if you're willing to put in the effort and meet the universe halfway, so to speak, or follow the breadcrumb trail of what you're intuitively guided to do, or the synchronicities that guide you towards your manifestation, or what you're compelled to do to bring it about, you're gonna get there, essentially. So it's gonna be a weird combination of letting it happen and making it happen, essentially is what I'm getting. But if you're willing to meet the universe halfway, yes, you're going to have those manifestations. I hope that helps. And don't feel like you can't have what you want. Sometimes the universe might take us on a roundabout way to get there, so we gain the lessons we need so we're ready for what we want. But the universe is never really trying to deny you what you want. In some ways, it might be trying to teach you what you really want. In some ways, it might be trying to teach you what you actually need. But it never really wants to deny us what we want. It wants to provide, but in a way that's for the highest good. Does that make sense? So don't know why I feel called to say that. Next question. All right, this one. Can you tell if I should move to California or Florida? They are more gung-ho about Florida than California. I'm getting that's the better option for whatever reason, and I'm not sure why. That's just what they're saying. So anything for you, it's most likely going to be more your speed, essentially, is what I'm getting for you. So I hope that helps for you. A Little Snap Crackle asked, did they miss their chance for having their own children? My body pendulum's going no. I definitely hope you didn't either. You're welcome, Rick. For some reason, I'm getting no. I'm not getting a whole lot more on that off the top of my head, and I sincerely also hope, if you really wanted children, you did not miss your chance for having your own children. I don't know if that's something you're going to have to get out there and try to make happen or what, but I don't really get that you did, so I hope that helps. Okay, Joyly Nengewa. So sorry if I'm not saying that correctly. Maybe I shouldn't apologize for everything. Will they meet their soulmate soon, or do they know him? Will they meet their soulmate soon? What I get to answer this is one of many. To me, you can have, my understanding is you have multiple soulmates. It's souls you've incarnated with in past lives. It's people you're supposed to meet. And you do have multiple. So I do get you are going to meet one of them soon. Do you know him? As far as your definition, not yet, is what I'm getting. You haven't met what you might consider the one. You have multiple people who could be the one, who could fit that definition, depending on your choices and the way the universe needs to make it work. Not everything is set in stone, if that makes sense. It's something I'm getting to help explain it for you. But you will meet someone who you will consider your one and who you will be happy with. And they will be of a soulmate energy is what I'm getting. And they're saying not twin flame. I'm a little bit iffy on the twin flame thing personally. But that's just what I get for you. So I hope that helps. And yeah, you'll be meeting someone you want to date soon. And by iffy on the twin flame thing, I do think twin flames can exist. What I always get when I check in on it is it's not what anyone really thinks it is. Or very few people have it right. So I hope that makes sense. Anyways. To me, a twin flame is more like two souls incarnate at the same time. It doesn't have to be romantic. So, next question. Karo Z Star asks, should they take this new job? Thank you. It's worth it if you do, essentially is what I'm getting. So I hope that answered. I mean, that's a short answer. I mean, the overall, what I'm getting is yes with the body pendulum, and they're just saying it's worth it if you do. Would it be for you for your ISQ to not take the new job? It's worth taking, and it leads to better is what I'm getting. So I hope that helps. And maybe there might be some caveats or bumps in the road as you do that, but it's not going to be that bad. It's definitely worthwhile. So I hope that helps. And overall, it's leading you in the right direction. Okay, so next question here. Lady Coco Mo asked if they're on the right track with their purpose in life. I was getting yes, very, so I just wanted to answer that really quickly. So I was getting the answer right there. Water, yeah. I left my water all the way across the table. So I'm going to be back in like 2 seconds because I just need to get water. So 1 second. Thank you for the water reminder. Always appreciated. Fun fact, apparently drinking water, I was about to say something really obvious, but there was more to it, I promise. I was about to say drinking water is really good for you, but it's actually good for more than just staying alive and hydration. But I was, one thing that one channeler, Lee Harris, says, and a lot of you who follow my work know I reference him sometimes in these lives. But one thing that they kind of kept saying was like, hey, drinking water just helps like clear your energies more. It helps like move things through your system faster. So it's always a good idea to like drink more water if you're processing anything or doing anything. So hydration is fun. Yeah. Okay. So back to the Q&A. So fully fly is good. What would be highest and best for me to answer? What would be Seely Love asked, what does their love life look like? They're ready to give up. I'm pretty much what I was getting is don't give up. I would potentially redirect your focus for a time is what I'm getting. I'm getting a weird message for you, like, hey, focus on your heart and getting your heart into alignment. What does that mean? It doesn't, with whoever resonates for you, whoever you're drawn to, like book an energy healing session, work on that heart chakra, do the heart chakra healing music on YouTube, something like that. Like that might be a good way to go. And also like your sacral chakra might be a good one to just look at. And just focus on you and getting an alignment and getting to a good spot. And I feel like when you're in the middle of doing that, like love is likely going to show up, or you'll start to get more clues on what to do to get it to show up, if that makes sense. For some reason, I'm getting weird recommendations for you, like, oh yeah, buy a rose quartz bracelet. Anything, again, that's heart chakra. Anything for the sacral chakra would be good. And I feel like that's gonna... essentially, that's just some of the recommendations coming through for you to help with that one. So as far as what else does your love life look like for you, what would be highest best for me to bring through for you to help you out with your love life in general here? And they're just saying exactly what they already said again, which is pretty much like, hey, it's coming, just focus on getting in alignment right now. That's the best you can do, if that makes sense. And then let's see here. The other thing they're kind of saying is like, hey, like, you can't just have anyone, like you need to have the right fit. And that's kind of what you're preparing for. And they showed me a tiger, interestingly enough, when they were saying that message. And it's kind of just like, tigers can't just date any old cat. Like they need a tiger, or I guess technically you can have a lion, but then it's a weird genetic issue sometimes, I guess. Anyways, besides the point, and not what they were channeling through. That was a me moment with the... Anyways, what else do they need to say here? For you? Another like recommendation they have for you, which does not necessarily have to do with your love life, is just like, hey, work on honing your intuition and things like that. Like they're showing like, hey, do energy healing, like look at tarot cards or something like that. So if you ever feel drawn to that stuff, look into it a little bit more, see what shows up for you. That might steer things in a better direction for you. So I hope that helps. I know that's not like a ton of extra information on your love life, but that's what I'm getting for you to help you right now. So I hope that is helpful to you. Just looking at the Q&A. Nicole 4704. Hey, China Moon Girl, how's it going? Also, big shout out to the moderators. They really help keep this chat really good. They help keep you guys informed, or new people informed. They really help just with the flow of everything. So if you guys feel called, give them a big thank you and a shout out. I really appreciate their assistance. So I want to give you guys a shout out. But will Nicole beat this depression soon? And of course, I'm not a licensed physician, legal disclaimer. What I get is soon enough. I do believe what I do get is this will take some effort and potentially multiple angles of healing, like the counseling, the potentially therapy, but also like the spiritual work, opening up to new ideas and possibilities in your life. For some reason, like the question that comes to me for you to ask, and it is borrowing a bit from, well, it's from Access Consciousness. It's a modality called Access Consciousness, but it's just the question, what else is possible? Like when you sit with depression and what you've been through, and it just seems like all the doors are closed. Like just ask, like turn to the universe and be like, okay, like I'm feeling this way, this is happening, what else is possible? And it's more like a question of like, what are the highest possibilities available to me, or what possibilities are there for me to walk out of this or to get to something else, essentially. But that might be a good, if you feel called to look deeper into that, you can. That's not exactly the direction my guides want me to lead you towards personally. but that's just the question they wanted me to offer to you, to ask the universe for you to help start walking yourself out of that more. I would also just surround yourself, this is going to sound silly, but it's the recommendation coming in. I would surround yourself with warm colors. I do have a friend who's taking shamanic apprenticeship classes with a really good shamanic healer, by the way, who's more the real deal, not like I don't know, I'll just say that. But one of the things that shamanic healer was talking about, and he's this like he's this cool dude, he's from like Central America, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember exactly what country he's from, but he just talks about, yeah, like when you're depressed, like wear underwear that's like bright colors, like don't wear black or gray, because it just helps to enliven things and bring out like a happier energy to you. So I would surround yourself with those happier colors, even if it just seems contradictory to how you're feeling. It's more about bringing that bright energy in to help lift your spirits, if that makes sense. I'd also give time and space to yourself. I wouldn't force, unless you feel like it's really healthy for you, I wouldn't force yourself to be around people more than you need to be, because in some ways, like, you do need space to process is one thing I'm getting. I'd also like get in water, like get your body in water. I would set healing intentions with that water, is one thing I'm getting. Like ask the universe or source or your angels or your spirit guides to like bless the water and charge it with whatever energies would be healing and best for you. And your intention, a good intention might be to release what's in the way of you feeling better. Because right now you're processing a lot. And the more time and space you give yourself to process, and I'm not saying like time and space to just sulk in depression, but time and space to process, if that makes sense. Like giving yourself time and space to process is going to help you walk out of it, is something I'm getting as well, on top of doing the things that, people recommend, like get exercise and go for a walk. And I know like that just sounds really annoying to hear. It does typically help though. So hopefully between all of that is some recommendation that's for your highest good. But will you beat the depression? Yeah, if you keep going. Yeah, absolutely. Hope that helps. Okay, going to the next Q&A question. Sorry, my Q&A box isn't loading very well here. Let's see here. China Moon Girl asks, so should I pursue a long distance relationship? They're just saying yes if you have to. It's worth it if you do. They're like, don't feel like you're stuck with it, but try it, is pretty much what I'm getting. So I hope that helps. Nothing wrong with it. Okay, so back to the Q&A box. Hopefully it loads better this time. Okay. I keep getting yes with this question. T. Zayana SDS, will a romantic partner enter their life soon? I get yes. I would definitely pay attention to the autumn time is what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting. Pay attention to the autumn time for you. That's going to be a strong time to find a romantic partner. So any other advice for you that would be for your highest good? For some reason, I'm getting this message of like citrine as a crystal or the color yellow to help you with this. And that goes back to your solar plexus for whatever reason. And it's about magnetizing that love or drawing that in and strengthening that area. So you're weirdly enough more assertive in finding love, if that makes any sense. So I hope that helps. But I do get that you will, yes, have a romantic partner coming in soon. Relatively soon. Moonwellow 2017 asks, will they move away from Texas? I'm getting yes, eventually yes, you will. And they're pretty much just saying like, hey, if you feel ready to move. Things might have to line up, but you'll move at the right time. So I hope that helps. You're not going to be stuck in Texas if you're worried about that. Oh, my Q&A box is not doing the thing. Okay, so I might have to... Hey, 111 people here. How's it getting better than that? Let's see here. Let's see here. Whoop. Okay. Just more 22. Will they get out of this funk stagnant life soon? Yeah, I'm getting yes. They're almost saying very soon, like it's going to start to rescind. And I feel like it's like something you're shedding, or it's like a coat you're taking off, if that makes sense here. There is just a recommendation, like if you want to start to move that energy, just try some new things, whatever that might be. It could be small, it could be big. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but what else would help you right now regarding the situation you're in? That would be for the highest good. For some reason, I keep getting this message, and it did come through earlier for someone else, but right now is a time for release, essentially. So if you're willing to do the release work, you're going to be walking out of tricky situations like that more quickly, essentially. So what's the best way for you to do the release work? And for some reason, they're recommending this for you, Trish, more about like every full moon. I'd be setting intentions to release what no longer serves your highest good, or to release like stagnant energy. I would also clear the clutter out of your home, like anything unnecessary or anything that feels stagnant to you, or anything from like old relationships, if anything like that is around. I feel like that will help you to feel more clear and more just like more fresh, essentially, is what I'm getting. But it's gonna start to move things, essentially. I don't feel like you're blocked. I don't really feel like you're necessarily stuck either. It's more like a question of how can you get a fresh flow of energy in your life so you're feeling better and more on top of it, if that makes sense. So I don't know, I try something new. They're also showing me exercise. If you haven't been exercising, maybe that would help as well. But yes, you're gonna get out of that. You're gonna get out of that sooner rather than later, is what I'd say, or at least start to. Heck yeah. I hope that's a really good move, Aspiring Human. I get it will be. I get you won't regret it. Okay, let's see what else is. Because some Q&A is being weird, I'm just going to see what else is here. Italian Girl 444, you were asking what your greatest gift is. There's a couple different answers I want to provide, or that I'm getting. I feel like you can channel, absolutely. Like that is a gift you have if you're talking about like metaphysical gifts. One of the greatest gifts is also just you, like you kind of are, if that makes sense. But I know that's not the answer you were. I mean, that is a good answer, but I don't think that's the answer you were like looking for when you asked that question here. But you have an ability to channel if you wish to cultivate that and tune into that. You also have a good gift around touching the hearts of others, and also like causing people to be their best selves through the way you can touch people's hearts is something I'm getting. That's like through your words, just through your look is what I'm getting, just through the way you are. You have a way of opening people, and they keep showing like a flower blossom around you as they're showing me the images related to this message. So some of your greatest gifts are, one, like channeling, but two, also touching the hearts of others and allowing them to be who they came here to be, essentially, and getting them to open to that. It's almost like you're kind of like a walking fairy in a way, in a good way. I mean that in a good way. Like someone who has more magic than they realize. So if you're willing to open up to your gifts, you'll be able to open a lot of hearts and a lot of people, essentially, is what I'm getting. And it's more just the way you are as well. It's not always necessarily something you do. Does that make sense? So that's pretty cool. Anything else you need to know about that, or what else would be highest must have come through for you regarding that in your greatest gift? And they're giving that other angle of like your greatest gift is like who you are, essentially, and they're like, own it, because you have the capability to bring a lot of good to this world. So I hope that helps as an answer. I hope that's good for you. It makes sense. So anything else? What else would be fast good for me to get to here? This is an interesting question. Habib Girl One asks, do you believe in true love? So I think believe is a really interesting word. My guys don't want me to get into what I was about to get into, so let's see. Is true love real? I think true love can absolutely exist. I also get it's different than a lot of people think it is. A lot of people have a very romanticized, like, Disney view of true love, and that can exist, but I'm weirdly getting that's not always the best. And sometimes true love can take work or effort. And sometimes true love is something you hold for yourself, and that begins to reflect outside of you, if that makes sense as well. And I don't really get that everything is a reflection of you. That's something I had one person who kept saying that over and over again, and my guides, while they were saying that, were like, no, that's not true. No, that's not it. Nope, not true. And they kept correcting her, just maybe more for my sake. Not that they had me, I didn't say anything, I was just listening to her talk. But they were kind of correcting what she was saying while I was listening to her say it. And then, like, at the airport, because I was on a trip at the time, I was thinking about the concept of, like, is everything a reflection of you? And they pointed my eyes over to this woman, and it was this woman across the way, and she was having a conversation with someone else, and, like, they pointed my eyes to her as she was shaking her head no to something someone else was. That's like a synchronicity. She's, like, answering my question, or the universe is through her. And I thought about it again, like, are you sure? Like, and then, like, they pointed my eyes to her again, and she was shaking her head more vehemently, like, no. I'm like, okay. So, but for some reason, that's the message I'm getting for you regarding true love, is like, that true love you hold for yourself can be a reflection outside of you. I also want to get into it, because I was talking to the person I'm dating, and one thing that they channeled, because they're working on their channeling as well. They're pretty cool with their channeling. But one of the messages they got was, like, her guides were like, we don't even like that word necessarily, because love is actually the light of consciousness, and love, that's what she brought through. And I'm also kind of borrowing from Access Consciousness a little bit too, the book Being You Changing the World, because it's interesting, because their take is like, love is it's like there's so many different definitions of love, and like what people mean when they say I love you, and it gets a little bit convoluted as far as like what love is. And the other thing he said is, like, when you have gratitude for someone, like, there's no judgment, but you can love someone and have judgment for them at the same time. So is that really like what you want it to be, if that makes sense? And so, like, between the person I'm dating, their guides, and Access Consciousness, I find a really interesting picture of what love is, as far as like what humans project it to be, if that makes sense. I do think true love exists, but again, like my guide said at the beginning, I think it's different than a lot of people think it is. I think it's easy to get wrapped up in the fairy tale definition of love when it's not always aligned with truth of how people are. That being said, I think we can absolutely manifest really beautiful romantic connections with things that either are like true love or are better than true love, if that makes sense. So I hope that starts to answer the question for you. I know that's a really interesting concept. And again, my guides, when I check in just to double check, they're like, yes, it exists, but it's different than people think it is. So I hope that starts to answer it. Hopefully that makes sense to you. But it's a really interesting... Okay, Brandon, dating reveal. Oh, we can do that in the future. Okay, that's so validating, because I never truly thought that. Awesome. Yeah, glad to hear it. Glad to hear that's helpful to hear. Excuse me, friends. I didn't mean to click. Okay, there we go. Sometimes when I click on the screen, I'm trying to like scroll and it like clicks and it has me start to want to type a comment and anyways, let's go back to the Q&A. Olivia Scott 4 asked, should they take the MCK internship if they're not feeling it? I would try a different one, honestly. I don't think it's quite the right one. It's not the end of the world if you do it, but you'll want to do something else, essentially. Hope that helps. I think in some ways you already answered your own question. I mean, sometimes we're not feeling it and we're supposed to do it, and sometimes we are feeling it and we're not supposed to do it. But I think in that case, you're feeling it correctly. Okay. Oh, my Q&A box. Maybe I'll just hang out with chat for a second. Oh, no, sorry. I thought that was the reveal. Oh, sorry. Gotcha. Yeah. No, cool. No worries. Thank you. Silly Love, will they struggle in their new job? Not really. There might be a learning curve or some curveballs, but not necessarily a struggle. You probably will end up leaving that job eventually, by the way. So I don't know if I'd plan on staying forever, but it's worth working with there while you do. And it's a good job for now, too, Silly Love. So hope that helps. Oh man, so many questions. Astrid Wolf asked, is animation the right path? I'm kind of getting, not necessarily, it's a good place to start. I do get it will lead to something else, if that makes sense. I feel like it's a good thing to consider and to try, but I get you might not end up sticking with it, essentially, is what I'm getting. So I hope that helps and answers that. I do get there's better for you, but it doesn't mean don't try it, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to try the Q&A again so I don't get overwhelmed with chat questions. Please load, friends. Green-Eyed Libra asked, should they go back into nursing? Thanks. Let's see, what did people ask if you go back to nursing? I'm getting no, personally. I do get there's better for you. I think it's okay if you do. I don't know if it's going to be as fulfilling as you're looking for, but it would be a good temporary job if you just need something, if that makes sense. But I do get there's something more fulfilling out there for you, so I hope that helps. Eboyd412 asked, should they take the job at the vet place? I'm getting yes. It's worth it to do that. Hello, MTC. And NWBN7 asked, any messages regarding their love life? I'm going with chat right now just because Q&A is not loading properly. So any messages regarding your love life? The first message I'm getting for you, interestingly enough, is go unconventional, NWBN7. I don't know if I would look for a conventional partner. What does that even mean? I would go with people who are unique is a recommendation they have for you. I feel like you'll have more success with that. And I'm not saying go with the weird broken weirdos in the corner. I don't think there are any broken weirdos in the corner in the first place. But sometimes the unconventional relationships are the better ones. So that's one recommendation they have for you first and foremost. NWBN7. Beyond that, any other messages regarding your love life here? What's coming in? What do you need to know here? Pretty much what I'm getting is there's something new coming in, like something completely different than what you're used to, but it's gonna be better than before, essentially, and that might be part of why the unconventional message came through. If you're willing to open to something entirely different, you're gonna have better results than what you had before. And you might have some options come in that are more unconventional, and they're just pretty much saying like, hey, like try it. Like maybe you've never tried toffee before and you always go for, I don't know, lemon candy, but finally it's the time you try the coffee and it's better than you ever imagined, and you never go back to the lemon candy. It's not the same. It doesn't compare. I don't know. That's an analogy that's coming up for you first and foremost. So beyond that, what else is coming through here? So this is a card that keeps coming out for you, and I can't really show it because in the Sacred Rebels Oracle card, some of the cards have nudity, so I can like censor it. And it's in the world, not of it, and it's this lady in a river, pretty much, with all these trout or whatever swimming by her. And essentially, the message for you within the world, not of it, regarding your love life. That was part of where the unconventional message, that's part of when they started saying it, was when I drew this card. But beyond that, anything else for you with this card? One of the messages I'm getting for you, interestingly enough, with this card is don't wait. Like, don't wait for the past. Don't wait around for people. It's going to be much better if you move forward and just... if you move forward and cut ties with people who are not giving you what you need right now. And what I don't mean by that is like the second someone like makes a small mistake, you're like, you're out of my life, and like cut them off. It's more like if you're... if you're trying to date someone and they keep ghosting you and they're like, oh, maybe next time, and then they ghost you again, it's just like this repeated thing. You're like, okay, never mind. Or if you feel like you find yourself waiting for months for someone like to get back to you or to reach out, like probably better to move on than wait, a long time for people. And also don't wait for the past. I would be looking towards just moving towards something new. And pretty much what they're saying is no, not the past. So I was going to say, if someone from the past comes while you're doing that, that's fine. But it's going to be more a future person you should look forward to, if that makes sense. So anything going on right now in your love life you need to know about? Nope. Hopefully that makes sense so far for you regarding those messages at WBN7. Happy Easter, whoever said that. I didn't see your username and then it all refreshed. Oh my gosh, it's moving so fast. I'm doing well. How are you doing, Healing Movement? Let's see. Allison asked us if their connection with Jeremy is a dead end. I get, no, it's not, but be patient with them. And I get a weird message like, don't put all your eggs in one basket, which is a funny Easter analogy first and foremost. Haha. But as far as the message for you as well, with don't put your eggs in all one basket, what does that mean for you in this context here? It's kind of similar to what I was saying for the other person. Don't spend your whole life waiting if it's not moving forward. But for some reason I'm getting it's not a dead end, so I hope that helps. Just don't wait forever. Give it some time. Okay. Ooh, all right. Hopefully my Q&A box is fixed because the way chat moves is really difficult to keep up with. Okay. It's Stella59 asks what's ahead for them for the next few months. So let's see what comes through here. The words that want to be written is the first card coming out here, and what I'm getting is manifestation is the word I'm getting with this. So manifestation's coming to light. What does that mean here? I'd say like you're going to be manifesting. There might be some of your manifestations coming in, but it's more about you putting your manifestations out there. And it's in a way where you're finally able to receive is also the way they're quantifying it, interestingly enough, which is interesting to me. I also get you're going to be receiving more and like opening to receive more, which is good. And I get like in the next few months, you're going to be learning what receiving is, which I think is a really interesting concept and how to do it better. So let me see. What else do you need to know about what's coming forward for you in the next few months here? Okay, doing another card here. Release the dark wound, let love live, I think is what this card said. Yeah. So what's the message for you regarding this one? Pretty much what they're showing, like I get a visual of like you, but you're kind of like, you have your hand on like it's not a physical wound, but like a wound, and there's some like darkness, and it's metaphorical, of course. And it's like you're releasing. It's like these wounds from the past you haven't released yet that you're finally going to release. And again, like I did kind of get the message like this is a time period of release right now, is something they're saying as well. So what else is release the dark wound and let love live? What else do you need to know about the next few months here? I also get this message for you, like just moving past the darkness, like not letting it bother you or affect you. And the way they're explaining the message is sometimes like there's a big storm cloud coming in, and there's like all ththese thoughts or stories that might come up, like, oh, it's like a dark cloud, like, oh, there's gonna be a tornado, like, oh, it's a windstorm, oh, I need to board up my windows, oh, and like you can kind of go the direction where like you're afraid of it metaphorically, or you can sit outside like sipping on wine and enjoying nature doing its thing. And of course you have to be a little bit discerning with that. You don't always want to sit outside if the tornado sirens are blaring. But one of the messages for the next few months is like things aren't going to be as bad as they seem, is one thing they're talking about. And any darkness is like non-threatening. It's like a dark cloud that passes overhead, but the storm never comes. It touches down like a town over or something and doesn't come back around. So there might be a lot of things in the next few months that seem bad but aren't bad. I'd keep that in mind just so you can keep a level head of something they're talking about. Another card coming out here, Dream a Beautiful Dream, is coming out for you. So what else? What do you need to know about this one? I was getting a message about you rebalancing with this card, but the other thing I'm kind of seeing is it's almost like you're being reassembled. Like they're just showing you on like not like this is going to happen literally. This is a metaphor for what's happening. But it's almost like I see you on this like bed, like in a hospital almost. And then it's like there's these nurses or something like putting your arms back on, but it's more like you're a robot. So it's not like you lost your limbs. So it's not like you're going to lose your limbs, by the way. So in some ways it's like, what is this message for you? So if I were to, they're kind of giving like a quick summary, like it's being rebalanced, it's receiving what's for you. And it's almost like putting your mental fields back together in a better way, if that makes sense. And seeing more clearly as a result of it. That's something else that's coming through in the next few months. So as far as like physical things coming in the next few months, what's coming in for you here? I also get the word revitalization. Like I see you having more energy, feeling more revitalized. I also see like ready to take on the world and kind of grab the bull by the horns more, where like maybe you were a bit more passive before, but I see you kind of being a little bit, not passive aggressive, but I see you being more aggressive and tackling things in life as well the next few months, which is going to be good. And for some reason, they want to just remind you again, like of the word like non-threatening. Like there's going to be things that seem bad, but they're not bad. And they want a Mother Mary card, Oracle card. So Our Lady of Soul Birth coming out for you as well as Holy Fire, I guess. Oh my gosh. This one, Answered Prayers. Our Lady of Answered Prayers coming out here. And that kind of goes to, if you're willing to pray in this time period, you're going to have your prayers answered, is what I hear. With Our Lady of Soul Birth coming out here, I'm getting the terms made new. And that kind of goes back to the message they showed me with the hospital bed and like them putting your limbs back on, essentially, which was like a message of rebalancing and kind of getting your mental fields organized. And so the message with Soul Birth here is, it's kind of like you're being made new and brought to another level, essentially, which kind of ties in with everything they were already saying. And then with Our Lady of Holy Fire, it's about purification. So you're going to be finding that, so it's Stella. Part of the release message, like there is a bit of a purification kind of rolling through the collective, but I feel like you're going to be feeling it in maybe like 2 months from now, or like the next month, essentially, is what I'm getting. And I feel like one thing they're saying is like you're going to be feeling much more solid by the summer, like June, July, August, essentially, or the summer months is what they're saying, than you are right now. Like you're going to feel more on your feet, more clarity, just more like with it, essentially. Not that you're not with it right now, but that's kind of what they're saying. So I hope that helps. And I hope you have a great, let's see here. Goodbye. Okay. So I hope that makes sense, Estella, and I hope that helps you. Thank you so much. So the next thing, so the next question they want me to answer, the madman in your closet asks, what can I do to help my heart right now here? First thing they are showing is like crystals, like rose quartz would be helpful for you, and that would kind of help things right now. Also something like red that has to do with the root chakra, interestingly enough, or even like if you look up the YouTube like chakra healing music, like hang drum music, I think is some of the ones I like, but that can help just balance things out. Weirdly enough, helping to release from the root chakra, like releasing fear is going to roundabout like help your heart heal and be in a better place, because there will be less in the way of your heart healing, essentially, is what I'm getting. Also, any type of creativity and expression, like painting, singing, music, anywhere you're expressing yourself is going to help you release. It could also help you get things out onto the page, so to speak, and like outside of you, and help you get to a better place that way. So any type of expression or creativity is also something that's going to help your heart right now, essentially. And hopefully you're talking about your energetic heart, if that makes sense. What else do you need to know that would help your heart in general? And kind of like we were talking about earlier in the live, or what was coming through, is like I would definitely drink a ton of water. That's something that's also going to help you out with just releasing and clearing things out. And that's also going to help support your physical structure as well. So let's see. As far as like, because I know we talked about expression, but they're really talking about writing as well. And that's in different ways. It's writing as far as manifesting. That's even things like poetry. I feel like writing is something that's going to be really healing for you if you're willing to do that. Even if it's once a week and you're just journaling, or whatever form of writing you want to undertake is going to be good for you, essentially, is what I'm getting. So I hope that helps. Anything else that would help your heart right now? Fully for the highest good here. Another like message for you I'm getting is like, try to get your mind off of things and like do. Like just being in the moment with doing might be better for you than like doing over things with the mind or mentally. That's also going to help your heart fields and space, as if you're taking action and like doing things instead of just like sitting and dwelling. So I hope that all helps. Well, there's one more thing they want to get to here. Of course, like free from judgment, free to love card coming out here. I would also just try to love yourself, interestingly enough, of course, is pretty much the message that's coming through for you first and foremost. So what do you need to know about this? I would do your best to hold a non-judgmental space for you. That's also going to be something that really helps your heart. And if you need any type of healing, that's going to help you heal faster as well. Because you won't be judging things and keeping them stuck. You'll be allowing things to move and holding space for yourself instead of thinking you should be in a different place or things should be different. So I hope that helps and makes sense for you as well. So I hope that was helpful for you. Absolutely. Hey, Destiny. Whoop, my Q&A box is now empty. Get some water really quickly. Hey, so Getting Tipsy Nails asked about the channeling class. I'm working on putting that together. I'm also just trying to figure out the format for that, so I'll definitely let you guys know when I have something more on that. As far as anything for you Getting Tipsy Nails, they're really showing me the solar plexus first and foremost, and working on that. First and foremost, that's going to be something that's helpful for you. Trying to clear the solar plexus is going to be pretty helpful for you. I feel like I've said that to you before, but it is coming through again. They're also showing you in like this shirt, but it like has all these like stars on it. It's like a dark blue shirt, and it has these like yellowish kind of stars, interestingly enough. And I want to see what this is about. It's about make a wish are the words they're giving me as they're showing me this message. And they're giving this message like the universe is abundance. it's like all you need to do is make a wish and things will start to move in that direction. So what else do they want me to say about that? What else is coming through about that for you? It's also like a message of like, hey, don't feel like you need to hold off or that you're not worthy of wishes. Like, of course you are. It's like, no matter what you've done, no matter who you are, we're worthy of moving in the right directions, excuse me. And don't get down on yourself if things don't turn around right away. You are undoing like, you might be undoing a lot of patterns, whether it's ancestral or past life or just patterns from your whole life. So go easy on you if things don't shift right away, but keep working. And once it's kind of like undoing a knot. Like once you kind of get to the crux or like the one part of it that like starts to move, if that makes sense, or that like you really get to the heart of that knot and you pull that one string correctly, like it really all starts to unravel and it's much easier to do. And I feel like if you've been working on yourself, like you're almost at that point where you find like the thing that you like pull and it like starts to actually like undo the knot instead of like picking at it, if that makes sense. I feel like you've been working at it for a while. They're also pointing me up to your psychic gifts and abilities. Those are going to be improving. I feel like if you've been working on it, you've been doing the work for it to improve. And so you're going to see the results of that start to come in sooner rather than later if you haven't already, which will be really cool. I do feel like you're someone who's meant to help heal people. So I definitely like would keep considering that as something for your path as well. Getting tipsy nails. I think I've said that to you before as well. But one of the main messages, like, don't get down on yourself right now. Like things do turn around, like the knot does get unraveled. You're worthy of your wishes. And let's see here. They're also showing me a rainbow and they're saying hope on the horizon. So they're showing me a card. It's from the Archangel Oracle card deck from Diana Cooper, and it's Archangel Hope, and it's like this archangel. It's supposed to be Archangel Hope with like a lantern in this room, and there's this doorway leading out of this dark room or cave out into nature, and there's this rainbow, and it's all peaceful, and it looks like heaven on earth on the other side of this doorway. So what's the message for you with that here? It's pretty much just a message of don't give up, and it's like even if you feel like you're stuck in the depths, and I'm going to make like a Lord of the Rings reference here of like the Mines of Moria or this dark cave. It's like sometimes all you need to do is like round a bend and there's the exit. Or sometimes all you need to do is just take that one last corner and then you're able to get out and be free essentially. And that's coming for you more this year or early next year is what I'm getting. Is like one of these like this like freedom escape kind of thing where you're finally free of something. So hope that helps. Hope that makes sense for you. And I will, hope that helps. Ashley in this life asks, guidance please, advanced channeling next or quantum training to focus gifts or both? I would do both is the first answer I'm getting. If you were to choose one, probably the channeling, because I feel like that can help unlock everything else in a bigger way too. What I'm getting is like when you have that to lean on, you can do anything essentially or be guided through it. So hope that helps. Corn Marie 87 asks, will they find love and new friendships when they move? Yeah, pretty much. I'd be a little bit patient, especially with the love aspect, but that's coming. If you were to focus on an area to help you prepare for that, I would look into working on your sacral chakra, essentially. The lower two chakras, and maybe the lower three, but lower two, like root and sacral, tiger's eye or orange calcite would be good crystals for you regarding that. Excuse me. Friendships, yes, definitely. Love on the way, but be patient. So I hope that helps. But yes to both. There's a lot of 420 birthdays. Nice. Happy birthday to the 420 babies. B, did you learn to channel on your own or did you take classes? I want to say I didn't really take classes for it, if I'm being honest. It was more, I guess you could say on my own, but it was more like the universe was my teacher. Like it would lead me to, like, right when I really started to get into this stuff, like the universe surrounded me with like a bajillion different people who channeled, but it was almost like they channeled in different ways, if that makes sense. And so like I really got exposed to it really directly, and like it was just very pointed, and it just really fascinated me. It really drew me in as something I really loved to do. It's just like just the fact that you could like talk to God and get answers and bring through channel information from the divine, or channel through symbols, or channel through messages, like just absolutely fascinated me. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And so I just really it became one of my main just focuses, was talking to my guides and talking to the angels and talking to God, source, spirit, whatever your name for God. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. And from there, like I would meet people who were channelers, and like they might have some pointers or say something, or direct me towards it, or I'd take energy healing classes, and that would unlock my gifts more and my channeling more, and it would just kind of open up as I kept going. So pretty much I had different people or events or circumstances that taught me, and the universe taught me through all these different things, you could say, but I didn't really take like a class to learn to channel, if that makes sense. Yeah, you're welcome. Jamie Lewis one asked, do I see wealth and success in your future? So is there wealth and success in Jamie Lewis's future? Again, yes. It is something you might have to work towards, though. Some things will definitely come on a silver platter, but I'm not sure. What I get is not all of it will necessarily come on a silver platter. There might be certain things you need to put in motion or work towards to bring it about, but it is a strong possibility if you're working towards it, is what I'm getting. And like business would be good, or alternative ways of making money that aren't a standard job or 9 to 5. And I think that's definitely okay if you have that going right now. That's okay. But building out your revenue streams will be a great way to that. Especially, multiple streams of income is always good, but that's what I'm getting for you. Hope that helps. Let's see here. Kylie M. Dion asked, any messages for them? They're really struggling emotionally and in their relationship. I'm going to pull a card and see what comes through for you. So softly, the tender touch comes out here, which makes a lot of sense. I would definitely be gentle with yourself, but I want to see what the channel messages for you are regarding this. I do get everything is going to turn around. You might end up having to leave your relationship is one thing I'm getting. You don't have to. It might end up being the way things go, and don't feel like you need to just jump ship because I said that, but it does lead to better through that choice, if that's what it comes to, essentially, is what I'm getting here. Another message, of course, is like focus on you. Try not to focus on like the world right now, like come back to you and focus on you. That's going to lead to better than getting wrapped up in anything, essentially. I would definitely focus on your mental health and be like, I would almost be asking the question every day, like, what do I need to be healthier? Like, what do I need to do self-care wise to support myself through this? And like a little bit goes a long way, even if it's 5 minutes a day of something you need to do for yourself, even if it's just journaling or sitting quietly, can really add up and compound over time and get you to a better place instead of sitting and stewing. Not that you're doing that is one thing I'm getting first and foremost to help you. But the message I get for you is if you keep going, it does turn around. I do feel like there is going to be, like the way things are going right now, there is a bit of like a sharp left turn that comes in, and it's like things will change abruptly. It's going to get a little bit better. Like there's a bit of a reprieve and an uplift, and then you might have to work through a little bit more. But as you're doing so, you are being brought to a higher plane of existence, metaphorically, you could say, or to like a better you, and it's going to lead to a much more fulfilling life if you keep going, essentially. That's one thing I'm getting for you as well. So beyond that, in some way, what She Feels She Knows is the card that's coming out. What I'm hearing is like you already know what you need to do, essentially, or you already know what would be best. And all these cards, all these cards fall on the ground and they all kind of apply. Which one should I start with? Faith in the Process also coming out here. Faith in the Process also coming out here. Hopefully no one on TikTok was watching that. The TikTok people. Not you guys, the TikTok people. But Faith in the Process coming out here as a card. And what I'm getting with Faith in the Process here is sometimes we do have things that show up that test us. I'm not saying it's a test from the universe. It's more like things are testing for us. And if you're willing to make it to the other side, it's better than ever before. And it does remind me a little bit of, there's something Lee Harris, who's a channeler, says, where before things are expansive and amazing in our lives, sometimes we go through like a contraction phase or a dark night of the soul kind of phase where we have to work through things, or things are stripped from us, or things are a bit more difficult. But if you're willing to see yourself through that, it leads to the more expanded stages of life where things are really amazing, or bigger manifestations can manifest, if that makes sense. I don't know if that contraction expansion is exactly what's going on, but I feel like you're on your way out of a contraction, I suppose you could say, is one of the messages. The other thing was heaven sense. And they're giving me earth angels with this one. I do get you're going to be having, Kylie, more earth angels kind of coming in to kind of lighten your load and to give you more advice and to help you through it, and also to give you more perspective so you're seeing things clearly and from a higher paradigm, so you're not too wrapped up in the human stories about how awful everything is. Not that you're there, but it's going to help you to be in a better place about it while you're going through it, which will be good. There's also just more heaven sent messages and signs. Like, I would definitely pay attention to like feathers, signs from the angels. They're also showing me apples, interestingly enough. If you see like apples as like a sign or a synchronicity a lot, it's like a sign like, hey, everything's going to turn around, and it's turn around for the positive, not, you know what I'm saying. That's another thing I'm getting with that. Okay, next card coming out for you, Dream a Beautiful Dream. That's what they're saying with this card, is that's what's coming, is your ability to live the life you want to live is expanding and it's coming. But first you have to go through this, essentially, is what I'm getting with this card, with Dream a Beautiful Dream. So I would definitely hang in there, be really gentle with yourself. And I'm also getting, like, they're also kind of just saying to me right now, like, you're on your path, like, you're on your path. And they're just kind of saying, like, you didn't stray from what you're supposed to be doing. You're going through this so you're ready for the future is one thing I'm getting. Another like random side message I'm getting for you with what do you feel is don't dull yourself down for others. And I don't know if that necessarily was with the card. It was just what they were saying while I was sitting with the situation. Don't dim yourself down for others. That's only going to hold you back. If you're dimming yourself down for others, like, that's only holding you back from what you're supposed to be doing, and that's only going to hold you back. There is a message with the earth on this card, like, the earth is changing and so are you. So I would try to have as much grace for yourself as you can while you transform and change, if that makes sense. And I don't know if you've been saying anything else in the chat, but I hope this has all been helpful for you and makes sense for you. So I might have gone longer than I needed to, but essentially things are going to turn around. And there's an apple on this card. That's funny. So anything else for you regarding all that here? They are kind of singing that song, like, every little thing is going to be all right. So if you're willing to have some fortitude and be gentle with yourself, and not get too attached to things right now, things are going to improve. They're also showing me like a whale, like whale spirit animal is kind of showing up here, which is about communication. And there's a message like, if you're willing to communicate, things are going to be okay. So I would express your feelings. I would express yourself very clearly. I would make everything you're going through known to whoever you need to make it known to. I feel like that will also help clear things up. So I hope that helps. Neon Poppy says they're feeling sick and anxious. Are they releasing? That's half of what's going on. I would also just look into self-healing, either whether it's energy work or something like that, just to help you. Weird message like seal up the release, or release more quickly, or release in a more controlled way, if that makes any sense. So you are releasing, yes. Is there more to it than that? I do think there's a little bit more to it than that. I would definitely employ self-care is what I'm getting with my body pendulum there too. So I hope that helps. You're welcome, Kylie. I hope that was helpful for you. Ali Wawa 17 asked, is their relationship with Carl for their highest good? I'm getting yes, it is for now. I'm not really, pretty much what they're saying is like, hey, yeah, don't break up with them right away. You know what? That's what I'm getting. So I hope that helps. And don't feel like you need to be stuck with them either. That's just the message I'm getting. Next question. Krista Scott asked if their husband will be getting a promotion or a new job. They're really pointing me to the second one. They're really highlighting new job. That's the one I'm getting. So yes, be patient, but yes is what I'm getting. It is going to happen. Oh, thanks, Leanne Hill. I appreciate it. I answered that one. Okay. Zen Melissa asked, what is their soul's purpose and how will it manifest? So fully for the highest good, what is the highest and best message on what is your soul's purpose and how will it manifest here? So really interesting. Like one of the words, and you know, one of the words that's coming through for you is uplift. But the other thing they're showing me with that is it's almost like there's this, let me see how they give me the words to explain this to you. It's almost like you're here to rewrite things in a way, because they're showing this like, it almost looks like a reality or a representation of reality, and it's like this paper, and you kind of just like take it and it kind of like crumples up and like shifts, and then there's like a better reality on the other side. So in some ways what you're here to do is manifest the new and really bring that about, and it's through your thoughts, your actions, and your words, and rewrite things for the better, like through your intentions and through intentionality is one of your purposes. And never limit it to just the answers I'm giving. I'll give as much as I'm getting to give right now. But I never want you to limit it to just what I'm saying or feel like that's all there is to it. Because your purpose can also grow and evolve over time. And there are certain soul missions and purposes that you really concretely came in to have. But how that plays out in the physical can really change over time. So there's no like one way necessarily for how it will manifest, because it's going to manifest through everything you do, if that makes sense. But what else? I'm going to see if they give me some examples of how it will manifest here. So a lot of the times I do get like an answer of writer, but I do feel like writing and can be like a lot of different things. Like writing can be poetry, writing can be a novel, writing can be a self-help book, writing can be channeled writing. But that is showing up for you as one way to kind of like change things for people and to kind of like rewire them in a way, or like rewrite how they view things or think of things, is like through writing. And I get it, it's like powerful. You might consider poetry, you might consider something along those lines, but I would at least sit with that as an option, as a way to play that out here. Especially like long format content is what I'm getting as well, would be really good for you. And it's really, for some reason, it's about rewiring the mental realms is something I'm getting, where it's like changing how people think or perceive, but it's for the highest good. Or rewiring how they approach like relationships and things like that, or like just a few of the examples I'm getting with how that could play out here. But you're here to like uplift through that rewriting, and again, like bring everything to a new paradigm, to a higher plane, to uplift things more. So anything else on your soul's purpose that would be highest and best for you to know about here? Another thing you're here to do is show people they don't have to be stuck, interestingly enough. Is one of the messages that I'm getting for you about your soul's purpose. It's like you're here to teach people they don't have to be stuck. And again, that can be through writing, that can be through living as an example of that, or that could be through conversations you're having with people. But that's one thing that's showing up as one of your purposes as well, showing people they don't have to be stuck. Anything else here? Another thing they're showing me is like they're showing me a starfish, and starfish typically symbolizes regeneration, and that's the word they're giving me. It's like you're here to regenerate people. Um, and it's like you're here to regenerate things to how they're supposed to be, if that makes sense. And sometimes things on Earth do get a little bit loopy, or people kind of get a little bit out of whack. And so you're someone who can get them in whack and kind of help regenerate people, is something I'm getting, as well as one of your soul purposes. Anything else that would be for your highest good to know about your purpose and how it might manifest? So I do feel like a lot of people who are drawn to me would be well suited for healing work. That's just something I've noticed. If you ever feel drawn to that, at least on the side, like I'd consider it at the very least as something to consider. Even if it's body work, like massage or something like that. I'm not sure how old you are or how feasible that is for you at this point in your life. But that's another thing that's showing up as like a potential option for you that could be good for you. Also, I don't know if you would. For some reason, mediumship is also a word that's popping up. It's not usually my first recommendation for people, but it's a word that's popping up. So maybe that's something you could sit with and consider, if that's something that feels right to you and you feel drawn to that at all. But it's more like rearranging people so they can be their highest selves. I hope that makes sense so far, Zen Den Melissa. But that's a lot of the answers. What is healing work? That's a great question. I think I should answer that. So healing work, let's see what they have to say as a definition. Anything you're doing to help people be their best selves, and to come back to them. Anything you're doing to help people release and transform for the highest good, or to rewire them so that they can be who they're meant to be, could be considered healing. And it can sometimes be about restoring someone to their natural template of who they're supposed to be. It can also be something that's meant to be a lesson for something through that healing, so they can take that forward with them and teach others through the lesson they learned through the healing they had to go through. So a healer is someone who restores people to who they're supposed to be, especially if society got them out of whack, or their parents, or anything like that. Whether that's physically, whether that's mentally, whether that's emotionally, whether that's energetically, or all of the above. That's what I'm getting as a definition for healing work. First and foremost. So for Bias Linky, how can they help their partner heal and create stability for their future? They have so many things going on. The first thing they were showing me and giving me as an answer for you, it was be a rock, essentially, and also to like provide the resources. It's like, if they're not doing the work, of course you can't do it for them, but you can provide the resources that make it easier. I also get that the more emotional support your partner has, the better they, sorry, I assumed the pronouns there, I think for a second there, but yeah, the more emotional support they have, the better they're going to be doing, and the more easily they get on their feet, essentially, is one thing I'm getting. I don't necessarily get they've had a lot of emotional support in the past. So the more you provide that you can provide, that's not like too much for you to provide, that's going to be really helpful for them. So I would definitely encourage them to do the work. I would definitely provide the resources that would help them, whether it's a book you feel called to give to them, or a class you think would be really helpful for them, or any type, if it's trauma related, some type of trauma recovery course or therapist or something like that, is something I'm getting that could be helpful or good for you, essentially, to help them. So how else can you help your partner heal and create stability for their future? I would also encourage them to go an unconventional route and stay true to them and their hearts. With their healing, actually, was more what I was getting with the unconventional. Like, yes, like have them see a therapist if that helps them, if they're willing to do that. But also, like, to supplement that, try alternative methods as well to really help support that, because that's going to be good. They are going to get there, by the way. It's just going to take time, Bias Linky. which might be the one thing you don't feel like you have, but that's one thing I'm getting is what's gonna take to help them get to that place where they're more healed and they're more stable. So anything else that would help you guys with that? I would even do things as far as like building crystal grids for them, especially something with either like red tourmaline or like red jasper is what they're kind of showing me, or things that have to do with stability, like red jasper, brecciated jasper, citrine, tiger's eye, especially like really stable crystals or stones. And with some selenite in there, something they're showing me, that would be potentially a good crystal grid to look into, just to set the intention for stability and for whatever healing would be for the highest good. And you could add flowers in there. They're showing me flowers as well, some type of yellow flower, or flower petals, to kind of help bring in more joy. And that's something that would help bring more stability or move things in that direction for you as well. So I hope that helps. I would also encourage them to be creative. Sometimes creativity can be healing, is something that I'm getting for you regarding them. I feel like what I'm getting is if they're creative, they're going to be a lot better. And it might not solve everything overnight on its own, but it's probably going to help. So I hope that helps, Bias Linky, in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, water break for sure. What happened with Zenva and Melissa? Or many mediums or someone. I don't know. Oh, someone had confirmation. Okay, cool. Very cool. I always love that. Sorry, I'm stuck in... I'm not stuck, but I'm trying to get out of my... Sometimes they make me like... They pull up the keyboard for me to type a comments, and I'm not sure how to get out of it, so I'm just going to say hey on the comments and get water. So I'm going to be right back and get some water. Ooh, Easter basket shirt? Am I having... It looks like an Easter basket. Awesome. That's awesome. Brita ASMR. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm going to keep going for a bit here. Happy birthday, MSA's1. Do you have good luck soon? I get like, yes, you do if you look for it. It might not be as much as you want first and foremost, but I would keep asking and praying for it, and do the things that sustain luck, interestingly enough, like crystals like jade is something I'm getting, or like a jade bracelet that could be cool, or even like if there's like a little dragon statue you could get is something I'm getting, interestingly enough, as a recommendation that could help bring in good luck. But you are going to have good luck, yes. But they're also giving the message like, look for the little things as well. It's not always, I mean, it can be, it's not always like the big lottery ticket that falls out of the sky and it's the winning lotto number for, the Mega Millions jackpot or whatever. Sometimes it's like, your car hasn't broken down in years. And then like the second it does, it's like, it's free to fix it. Like someone just offers to fix it. Or sometimes it looks like, you just, whenever you need it, you have all the resources you need, and like problems just resolve themselves. Like it can look a number of different ways, and I'm not trying to limit your luck, because maybe it will be a really big thing, as you get that luck momentum. Another thing I'm getting would be like, try doing good things for other people as well. And it's kind of one of those abundance things, like when you give, you receive, and you don't have to go overboard, but maybe even just like small things for people, and start making those deposits of giving with the universe, genuinely and authentically. And that can, that might not be directly related to luck. It might be more directly related to abundance. But sometimes these different frequencies can either tie together or be associated with one another in some way, shape, or form. So hope that makes sense. So I'd say, yeah, but I'd look for it in the big and the small. Stand on Melissa. He gave words to what has been coming through in many readings for you. Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it's all lining up. Queen of Cups 1111 asks, will they find happiness soon? They feel so stuck, desperately searching for more. Thank you. Yes, you will. I'm kind of getting a slightly similar message to what I was bringing through just a minute ago. Like, look for it in the little things as well. And for some reason, I'm also getting a weird message. Like, try asking for other things as well that lead to happiness. Like ask for abundance, ask for joy, ask for peace, and some of the other frequencies associated with happiness, and you're going to have more of it by proxy, essentially is what I'm getting. And still ask for it directly too, like when you're manifesting, but it's like confirmation. I've had some interesting channeling stuff happen while watching along here. Awesome. Glad to hear it. And that's part of what what would be highest and best for me to say here. Sometimes when you're watching like channeled content, it can open your channeling 2 or open your third eye more, or all of the above, for the highest good, for the highest good. So that can happen too. Not saying you don't have it on your own, because of course you do. But back to Queen of Cups 1111. Will they find happiness soon? So pretty much what I get is like yes and no, but yes, like yes, you will have it. And then all the other advice came through. Excuse me, my hair is getting all curly. I'll try and fix it real quickly. No, I made it worse. Whatever, doesn't matter. So you feel stuck. You're desperately searching for more happiness. Thank you. So back to Queen of Cups. What would be highest and best to come through for you as well? One thing I'm getting for you that might be good to do is do your best to try to find purpose as well. Like I'd be manifesting, like, universe, what's my purpose? Please bring it to me. Please bring me to my purpose. I still be on my purpose. Thank you so much. Because that is also going to bring more joy, and you're going to feel more fulfilled. It's going to bring you all those frequencies you're looking for that seem like they're missing right now. The other thing they're showing me is things twisting and turning a little bit. So what does that mean here? Like one thing they're talking about for your path is like it's a winding, or it's going to be winding. So you might have some curveballs that temporarily make you feel less happy at times. If you're willing to push through that and like create a solid foundation for yourself regardless, you're going to have a stable joy and happiness later on. The other piece of advice that they want to give for you is like building a joy muscle. And what is that about? It's a concept I first heard from, again, a channeler named Lee Harris. And it's like giving yourself space to build joy. So like even if it's just your cup of coffee in the morning and you're just very intentional, you're like, okay, for this 10 minutes, I'm just going to give myself space. Like I'm going to be as joyful as I can be. I'm just going to experience the joy of this moment of having this coffee. I'm going to try and clear my mind of anything that's not that. And we're just going to try and be in joy. So you're allowing space for joy, but you're also intentionally starting to bring it about, because it is an energy you can generate or create. And you can also get any energy you ask for, fully for the highest good and only for the highest good from source. So you can also ask for the energy of joy to surround you and like sit in that frequency, and to like allow that to help you and train to a state of joy. Or you could use that as a way to manifest more joy. You could have that and be like, okay, ask for more of this. But there's multiple ways you could start to build that joy muscle, so you do just have more joy in life, on top of what's going on around you. As far as feeling stuck, I don't feel like you're going to be stuck for long, honestly. I feel like that's been part of the energies, like of late, like this March, April kind of period, but it's not going to be for longer. Like some people have been launching forward. Some people have been like, kind of like, the April showers bring May flowers, and then there's like a bit more mud metaphorically. But it's almost like that stuckness is more of a lesson that allows you to like skyrocket and be propelled forward further and more quickly in the future for the highest good, if that makes sense. So you're going to be out of the stuckness pretty soon. So I feel like there's more to this message for you, or more you need to hear. What else do you need to hear? Another recommendation they have for you is find the small things in your life that bring you joy and like fill your life with it. Like if it's a popsicle, like find a healthy sugar-free or something popsicle that feels good to you, and just fill your freezer with it if you can afford it. If it's coffee, like, you know, have your coffee every day. If it's walks, like make time in your schedule for walks. Like that's gonna help just boost your frequency, and also get you out of a lot of things that have been bothering you. So I hope that helps, Queen of Cups, 1111. Hope that's good for you. You're welcome, Queen of Cups. Wow, thank you. Really resonated. I'm so grateful for you. Confirmed a lot for me. Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Always glad to hear it. Otherwise, what am I doing? I mean, sometimes I have answers people don't want to hear and they get mad, but that's rare with you guys. I feel like you guys have been really good with that. Don't know if you're still here, Stone Ron Duroc, but you asked if your addiction to drugs will ever get better. I get yes. That's something that will take fortitude and work and some internal rewiring as to why you got there in the first place, and maybe some of the stories you tell yourself. But if you're willing to do the work, yeah, absolutely. And I would absolutely, potentially, if you want to supplement whatever else you're doing, I would definitely go see like an energy healer that resonates for you and feels good to you. That's something else that's coming through. Helen, you're asking if your health will get better. I'm just going to put the legal disclaimer that I'm not a licensed physician, of course, but what I'm getting is yes, but you have to be persistent, essentially, is what I'm getting. If you're not persistent, it will get better. Over the long haul, yes, but if you're persistent and taking the steps to get better, you will get better, is what I'm getting for that regarding your health. So I hope that helps. Anna Starborn asked if any financial blessings are coming their way soon. So what I'm getting for you is, I'm getting yes. I'm also getting like a message for you because it's interesting because one of the visuals they're showing me is like you have these, like, it's not like a bad trap, but it's like a net like laid out on the ground or some type of trap. I'm kind of hitting my ring light here. And then essentially like it's like laying the foundations to receive more financial blessings, essentially. And money can come in unexpected ways, so definitely keep putting that intention out there. But is there anything you can do to cast your net to receive more financial blessings? Like if you have some type of business, like promoting your work or events, or maybe putting a class on if you've never put a class on, or anything else that would be for you guys good to know about this. Short answer, yes. But what, I don't like this phrasing, but it's what they're saying. Like, what foundations can you create to capture more money? To me, I don't like the term of capturing more money, but it's what they're saying. To me, I think I like to have things like win-win, you know, with business and things like that. And you're probably already like that, hopefully, but that's what they're saying. So I hope that answers that. I feel like in the autumn time, you're going to have a bigger financial uptick. Like, that's what they're saying. So what months is that? Yeah, September, October, November. And I'm not sure if you're in the northern or southern hemisphere, but I'm getting those months like September, October, November. There's going to be more of that, which will be good to hear. Words. V. Pertusini asks, will they be able to put their purpose to the benefit of others? Absolutely, yes. What I'm getting right now you're going through some lessons to get there, but yes, absolutely. I get in the next few years you'll be able to do that. You'll be doing that, which will be good. Cool. Oh, what's happening? Did I answer a question 2 times? Glitter by Aspiring Human. What did Aspiring Human say? Oh, maybe it is. Yeah, I did answer this question. I'm just gonna. Starlight Worker, the universe keeps showing me the name Eddie. Why? It's definitely a sign. So is it? I would keep an eye out for people you meet named Eddie, or like a business with the name of Eddie is something I'm getting. They're leaning more towards, they're saying person though, is pretty much what they're talking about. So keep your eyes peeled. Just keep paying attention to it. That's one of those breadcrumbs the universe is giving you to lead you in the right direction, or to let you know something impactful is coming. That's what I'm getting. So keep on it. That will definitely be revealed. Okay, I muted them. The bot, the alleged bot, because I did answer that question. Okay, Q&A is not working very well here. Michelle Bennett, Michelle B asked, what lessons do they still have to learn to get the right guy in their life here? What I'm getting for you is healing past emotional wounds, but even like past life, interestingly enough. And they're kind of saying like, oh, but there's nothing special you need to do that. Like just like work on your sacral chakra more, essentially, like go deeper with that. It's also mindset is what they're also talking about, and like you could probably help with that if you were to focus on a chakra. The third eye chakra is what they're showing me, and they're also showing me Abraham Hicks, interestingly enough. If you don't already, like maybe look into listening to some of their stuff as far as like abundance is concerned, and that might just like the vortex stuff. I'm not a huge Abraham Hicks junkie personally, but what I'm getting, that might be a good recommendation for you to help like get that more aligned, I suppose you could say. Because I don't necessarily get necessarily like lessons. It's more healing is what I'm getting, is going to be like what leads you to the right guy. Excuse me. And getting to a more healed state within yourself. And I really get you're almost there. It's just like you're wrapping some things up. You're shifting some energies in your life. And one message I'm getting for you is like, make sure you hold the door open for them, like for the right guy. It's like, stay on Tinder or eHarmony or whatever, or Plenty of Fish, whatever people do these days. Like keep that door open. And even if that's not the way that person comes in, it's like, you're still putting it out there. Like, I'm open, I'm willing, I'm ready. You know, you're still moving the energies in that direction and showing the universe like, yeah, I'm doing this. If I suppose is one way you could say it. I feel like the universe already knows, but it is a way to move the energies in that direction and manifest it more, if that makes sense. So I would definitely be holding that door open in that way for the right person to walk in here. They're going back to mental and mind again. So anything else you need to know about that? One message that's coming through is like, yeah, know you're worthy of it. And I think conceptually you do know you're worthy of it. But sometimes when you haven't seen the results, it's easier to get down on yourself. Not my typical advice, but I would consistently be imagining like what it's like to have that like right guy in your life. Like, how does it feel? Like, ask source to give you the energies of like, how does it feel? How would it feel if I met the right guy? And like sit in that and like percolate in that, or like, what would be the highest and best guy for me, and how would it feel to date them? And you get the energy of how it would feel to date them, and you're kind of letting that percolate, if that makes sense. And of course, like there's the mantra, like I ask to release everything that's in the way of me meeting the right guy, or dating, or having a fulfilling, loving, non-karmic relationship with the right guy, or something like that might be a good mantra. Or doing like the full moon release ritual thing where you write down things to release, like that might be a good thing to set the intention to release. But I hope that makes sense so far, as far as what's going on there. You will heal it. I would just focus on your mindset, like the mental realms and the sacral chakra, and that will kind of heal anything that's in the way of that showing up. Hope that helps. Miss Nicole 907, will you get out of the place you're in and into your own? Yes, eventually. I do get that. So Marina says your son seems rudderless. What will help your son here? So fully fly is good. What would help? Okay. So your son seems rudderless. What will help him? Interestingly enough, like one of the messages I'm getting for you first and foremost is like right now, like give them space in a way, because it's like the card that jumped out here, and I wasn't trying to pull a card, it just kind of fell, like my hand brushed the table and it fell over, was faith in the process. Because he definitely will find a purpose, and he will get there. But right now he kind of needs to see what life is like if he doesn't have that temporarily. And that might be part of what gets his butt in gear is what I'm getting to, is like seeing that or getting some of that firsthand experience. So he will have a direction. Like right now he just needs to experience life, if that makes sense. And it might not be ideal, but in some ways it's almost better that it happens now instead of later, as far as like direction or being directionless or rudderless. But he definitely will have that. So anything else you need to know about what you can do to help him? Like if you ever feel called to send him like a brochure for something or a job application or something that looks interesting that you feel might call to him and his soul, just send it. And even if he doesn't do anything right away, he will eventually do something, is what I'm getting, interestingly enough. Because right now he kind of just needs to find the right things that inspire him, and I don't feel like he has that. But if you feel called to send him anything, I would. I hope that helps. I know that's not like much to go off of, and I don't have, like, I was kind of getting there might not be much you can do right now, except pray on it, essentially. But I do get that will turn around, essentially. Thank you, as always, Brandon. He will be 18 this week. Okay, yeah, absolutely. He's still got time. And sometimes that can be an 18-year-old thing to do a little bit, is just shut down. But it definitely does not mean he's hopeless. It's more just like, I think it's like, what does he want? He doesn't know. How should he know? But he will know. And this is the period that teaches him that. So I hope that helps. Way la la trash. First of all, I know that can be painful, so definitely sending some compassion and love your way. But you said things ended between you guys. Should you hang on and wait, or should you let go? I'm getting to let go right now. If they come back around, sorry, I'm not sure if it's he. If they come back around, what I'm hearing is it's gonna be because you let go, and open that space and give them the space to transform and come back a new person. I would definitely focus on healing and recovering and moving on to something new at the right time. Right now, I'd let it go. That would be for the best, and it will open more space for you to heal as well. And I would definitely hang in there. It does get better. It's not necessarily the end of the road. It's just an end of an era, if that makes sense. And better will come for sure, is what I'm getting to. Christian Cole 41 asks, how can they better open up spiritually? I would find one thing that really calls to you or draws you in, and then practice it and practice it and practice it, whether that's oracle card readings, or that's tarot, or that's astrology or channeling, whatever it is. That will be the way to get you to open up, and you can always branch into other things as they call to you. But that's the recommendation that comes to me for you first and foremost when I see your question, is like find one thing that really draws you and like go that way, and let that be the way that opens you up to everything else, essentially. And they don't want me to add anything else to that. So I hope that helps first and foremost. But sometimes just showing up and practicing and consistency can really be what opens that door more. Anti-B28 asks, will they be able to get a house this year? I am not sure you'll be, based on what I get, I don't think you'll be able to, but that's definitely in the cards for the next few years here, where that possibility opens up more. You're welcome, Christian Cole. What do you do when you're drawn to everything? It's also interesting. What I'm getting is pick the one or two that excite you the most. And oftentimes, like with this stuff, you can do multiple things at once. Like it's definitely very possible for you to take, I don't know, a channeling course and learn Reiki at the same time and just kind of incorporate both. Or it's very possible to start pulling cards, and studying astrology or something like that. So I'd find like maybe 4 maximum, just things that you feel like you can handle doing at the same time, because they all do kind of tie into each other. Like honing your intuition could be seen to me like that really ties into all of it. Like whether you're doing a Reiki session or astrology or pulling cards, like your intuition or your channeling, however it shows up for you, is going to really be like in all of that. Because like when you're doing a Reiki healing session, like when you're intuitively guided to do things or get messages for people, that can be a big part of it. But it's also core to pulling cards, and it's also core to good astrology readings, in my experience, if the person doing the readings channels or is really intuitive the way they're going about it, instead of just it's kind of like someone can pull like cards and go off of their basic meaning and give like sometimes it can be good, but if they're going intuitively, they're going to get the exact answer they're meant to bring through for that person, regardless of what the standard interpretation might be, if that makes sense. So I hope that makes sense. Hey, Prince Priestess, welcome back. Let's see, what would be highest and best? CR Leech asked, will they be able to work out issues with their significant other? Sorry, I'm like body penduluming off the camera here. Will they be able to work out issues with their significant other? I'm getting yes. It's definitely a patience thing. Definitely stick at it. It's definitely possible to work things out. I wouldn't get attached, but I would work towards it, if that makes sense. I hope that helps. It's definitely worth working towards as well. I think that's better if you just quit based on what I'm getting. I don't think that's what they said. So I hope that helps. Kristen Cole, thanks for sharing your Easter with us. Of course, you're welcome. Glad I was able to. Glitterby said or asked, what fulfilling thing are they called or purpose to do? It's what I get for you is it's multiple, and it's going to be different across each span of your life. I actually weirdly get business as something that might be fulfilling to you, like even just like the concept of business. And it might not seem fulfilling on the surface. And I'm not saying to go start like an oil change company and expect that to be fulfilling. But there's something about building your own thing that can be fulfilling, if that makes sense. That's more at the core of what I'm talking about for you. But that was one of the first things that came through is just like business in general. Whether it's selling or it's a service, it's more the concept of being of service through something you've built is what I'm getting for you. That was Glitterby. I'm answering. Where'd you go? There you are. So anything else that would be highest and best, that would be like your calling at this time here. What I'm getting is spirituality will likely be part of it. I'm not sure if it will be all of it for you. At the same time, like everything is spiritual in a sense, like you're here, it's spiritual, but it's like, don't force it to look a certain way is something I'm getting. Like that might be part of what you do in like a business or service, but you don't have to make it everything if that's not all that calls to you, if that makes sense. But so what else would be fulfilling for you or something you're called to besides business and that? The other thing that they're kind of talking about is like, they're almost showing me like something where you're active. They're showing me sports. I'm not saying you have to go play soccer and that's all there is for you, but something where you're more active is something that would be like something that might call to you, interestingly enough, even if it's on the side and it's not like what you do for a career. I'm pretty sure what you mean is more like career oriented, but that's something that they're showing me as well, as something more active where you're moving your body and like getting involved like that. I was gonna say maybe yoga. I'm not so sure it is yoga, but that could be something that calls to you. I feel like it's more like exercise is more what I could see, like CrossFit. I'm not saying you like CrossFit, by the way, but something more active, I think, is more what I'm getting, interestingly enough. So anything else that you're here to do here? I would consider healing work Glitterby, and I would looking into learning it if it calls to you. For some reason, I feel called to say, like, you don't have to make it all that you do here. Like there's a lot of different things to you. You're multifaceted. The second you just try to cram it all into one thing, you're going to feel lost more than likely, is what I'm getting. So try not to do that. Interestingly enough, is what I'm getting to. So anything else that you need to know about that? I don't know if you've ever thought about baking too, but they're showing me baking is something that might appeal to you in some way, shape, or form. And you can also like put a lot of love into your food, like the energy you put into food can be so important or healing to people as well. I don't know if you've ever noticed like the energy in a food from like airplane food compared to like if you cook a meal at home or if you get it at a restaurant where people are really stressed, or fast food compared to like when your mom cooks it. Like it's a very different energy in the food, and that can actually really make a difference in the taste and how you feel afterwards. I've noticed if I eat food and I either didn't bless it thoroughly enough or like transmute the energies with it thoroughly enough, or it's just the person who made it was really not in a good place, I literally feel sick afterwards. Like my stomach feels uncomfortable, it doesn't feel good, and I know it's energetic. I can feel the energies of it compared to physical. Like they're two different feelings, but I don't know why I want to say that. So I hope that helps as a starting point, Glitterby. Hope that helps as a starting point. But I'd look into things where you're active. I'd look into business for sure. Things where you're creating, like even like baking, if that makes sense. So I hope that helps. Let's see. For that one cool Taurus, ask spiritual guidance if you feel comfortable. Thank you. The card that came out for you was Restore and Replenish. Hopefully this is okay on TikTok. Restore and Replenish. I'm going to censor the card here. Really what I'm getting is take time for yourself. I'm also getting the words intense healing. They're pointing my eyes to like the seashells kind of up here above this woman laying here on the card. And they're giving me the words intense healing with that, interestingly enough. So I want to see what else they have to say here. I feel like you might be going through an intense healing of some sort soon. I feel like, but this is going to help you hit another level, of course, as healing does. So anything else that you need to know with Restore and Replenish here? It is like the Four of Swords from Tarot is what they're showing me, just to clarify, which is kind of the same meaning. It's about rest. It's about recovery. It is also a card about blessings. I believe one of the ways you can interpret it doesn't matter, that's what they're channeling through, but I believe one of the ways you can interpret the Four of Swords in Tarot is like there's a stained glass window, and it's like there's like blessings associated with either the symbol on the stained glass window or something like that. So you are going to be like blessed soon. I feel like especially if you felt like things have been bad, I think you're going to realize like they're not as bad as they seemed, or it's like something kind of picks you up and puts you in a new situation that's more healed and more blessed, as opposed to like, maybe metaphorically you felt like you needed to forage for food in the dirt or something like that, but you're kind of being picked up and put in a situation where like there's food on the table and you don't need to forage in the dirt or the trash for food or something, and like everything's kind of taken care of and you never really needed to worry. It's kind of like the message they're showing me, interestingly enough, to help to kind of describe that. But going back to the first message that I didn't really get into was take time for you. Go on long walks. Introspection would be really key. Like even if it's you have your music playing or whatever, it's almost like the more time you give yourself to think, the better things are going to be. And sometimes that's not the advice for people. Some people need to like not think, but for you, the advice is like the more time you give yourself to think, the better things are going to be, and you're going to have more space to have the realizations you need to move forward in a higher way as well. Another thing they're showing me, interestingly enough, is Egypt. Like they're showing me like the Sphinx and the pyramids, interestingly enough. One thing that you're kind of healing right now are past lives from Egypt is one thing they're talking about, which is really interesting to me. I don't normally go into this, but I feel like it was regarding a pharaoh or someone in authority. You might be healing things around authority right now, like in your personal life, whether that plays out through like things with the police or parents or teachers or bosses or something else. That's that's kind of what that is. But if anything around authority shows up, you're healing past life stuff, essentially, is what I'm getting, and it will resolve pretty quickly, is something I'm getting as well. Parrot is also showing up while I'm delivering these messages, and Parrot is saying, like, don't regurgitate information. Sit on things when you hear them before you repeat them to others and see if it really feels true for you. For some reason, I feel like that might help improve certain things for you if you do that. I feel like you're going to feel more on it and a bit more like in your own element, as opposed to rocked by any conspiracy theories or any other information that's coming your way, essentially. And sometimes it's just better to sit and see what feels true for you before you say anything to anyone about anything. And maybe that's part of why that time to yourself is so important right now, whether you're jogging with music or whatever you're doing. The other thing they're showing me, like a dragon is showing up for your reading, and pretty much what they're saying for that is like your potency is going to rise. So more magic, more potency, and where you felt kind of like weak or neglected, that's really going to shift and transform where you're protected, essentially, and you feel more potent and that you can handle things, and that you can manifest more strongly, essentially. Because potency to me also has to do with like your energetic potency, like whether it comes to intention setting or energy healing or manifesting or anything like that. And one of the ways to get better at manifesting is increasing your potency energetically, and you can do that by practicing energy work or just practicing setting intentions. And I feel like that's something I haven't expressed very much, but that's what I've noticed, for me at least, is like by practicing energy healing, by practicing setting intentions and seeing what shows up and showing up again and trying it again, or by channeling, like it can strengthen your energies and your energy fields and your potency, and as you get more practice with it, you become more potent with everything you do, intention wise and things too. So I hope that makes sense as well. But I'm getting that's all you need. Hopefully I didn't go too overboard there. And for some reason they're just also showing me a rubber duck. Bath time might be good for you, just to kind of get your body in water and heal, maybe set healing intentions for the bath water as well. But I would just take time to veg, honestly. Hope that helps. Okay. All right. Excuse me. So I'm probably going to end the live soon. I'm kind of getting it's kind of coming up on that time. Excuse me. For me, I know we haven't gone as long as I normally do, but I might either switch gears here, or maybe we can do a collective reading for Easter. Oh, I don't want you to go get water. Yeah, I'm gonna get some water, and then I'll come back and we'll see what I'm guided to do here. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I don't think I'm ending. I don't think I'm leaving quite yet. But it always goes so fast. It does. It hasn't. It's been like an hour and a half. No, wait. I started at 11, 12, 1. It's been 2.5 hours. Okay, that makes more sense. Jeez. Okay. I'm gonna do a collective read. And just see what kind of comes through for that, and see what they want to focus on, and then we'll see what they do, what they guide me to do from there, and then we'll kind of part ways for the day here. So fully flies good. I'm just gonna ask. So let's ask the true angels of the true highest light, true highest and best infinite source, highest infinite wisdom, highest infinite intelligence, being through the highest and best fully accurate information for the highest good, what would be highest and best to be brought through for you guys here. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much, that one cool Taurus. So the first card coming out here is Come to Life. And the interesting thing about this card is how gray and colorless it is. So let me see what the message is for you regarding this card, and regarding this message. I need to censor it, I think. So Come to Life here. That's kind of what this Easter is about, interestingly enough. But it's like things coming to life inside of you, even if it's just a seed that's sprouting. And it's funny because as I got that visual and message, when I looked, and you can kind of see this grass sprouting in the middle of the tile here in this card here. It is kind of, I am getting a message about a new beginning, and it's not right away. It's like the start of one that grows into and blossoms into a new beginning or a new trajectory for many of you. Or it's like this, of course, Easter is about rebirth, or this rebirth energy that just takes you on a new path. And I feel like I've been getting that message very strongly recently of like new direction and new trajectory. And I kind of just roll with the messages and that come through. That's what's been coming through. So I'm going to just roll with that too. Pretty much more color is coming though into your lives, especially if it's been lacking. And they also are recommending that you focus on color. Like, where is the color in your life? Where is the vibrancy? Where is the life? Focus on that and bring in more of that instead of getting caught up in any of the colorlessness that's out there. And they're almost showing like a black and white TV with like, you know, a tank or war being played on it. Like, you don't need to get wrapped up in that right now. This has been a message that came through a few times in the live, so I'm guessing it's important right now. But creativity, color, very important to be expressive, and allowing your soul to come alive through you through that, because that does help to change the frequency. That does help to change the world, whether it's directly around about the people around you. And like, it's like the more you're doing that, the more things change. And that's an important message for this group right now, is like that expression, that color, and adding that, allowing your soul to bring that through you. Even if it's in really small ways. It could be a doodle of like a dog in a sketchbook. Could be a little smiley face, could be painting, could be one line of a book you're trying to write. It could be anything, but I would at least try to do that. The raven is really also jumping out at me on this card, the raven on this woman's shoulder here. And they're giving me the word warning. So what is that about here? Pretty much just like if you get a sign or synchronicity that is or symbolizes a warning to you, like just take heed of that and go a different direction. For me, like a crow cawing is a warning to me. Like if I go to send a text and then I hear a crow calling, I'm like, okay, I either need to rewrite this text or not contact this person right now. And usually contextually, it always makes sense. Like it always makes sense to me. Like I'm about to do something or I'm thinking about doing something and then the crow caws, I'm like, okay, not that. For another reader, I've heard like they like coyote for them as like a warning. They're like, okay, something's up if they see a coyote. So canary might be another one that shows up for you. But if you have that and that shows up for you, like just heed those warnings, essentially is what I'm getting as a message for you guys here. The other thing jumping out at me on this card is the butterfly down here in the corner by where this woman is like painting on herself. It's it's like there is the butterfly. When this screen is not mirrored, it's very interesting to try and point a finger. But what's up with the butterfly here? One thing the words I get are the transformation has already begun. Many of you are well underway in a transformation, and maybe some of you don't realize it. And sometimes when you pop out the other side, you're like, oh, why do I feel so like weird today? Like, what is this energy? What is this anxiety? And then like a few months later, or a few weeks, you pop out the other side and you're like, oh, I was just, okay, I get this now. Like things are free and expansive. And I kind of just see like you pop out the other side and like the skies are blue, like things are moving in a good way. Things like that. So anything else you need to know about that? Just know you're in the middle of a transformation, essentially, is what I'm getting. I do see this more focused on like the root chakra, which has been coming up a lot, which makes sense with what's going on in the world. But when you have these transformations at like the base of you, it can really sometimes transform everything because it's from the ground up. And it provides a solid foundation and a more solid foundation. And sometimes when you have a more solid foundation, that also gives you more room to expand everything else on top of it or build a new and a bigger way. For you, it's more expansion is what I'd say. And that's kind of what's being done right now, is like this root foundation expansion. So everything else you're doing and being can expand. They want a Mother Mary Oracle card. So I pulled the same card earlier, but I went to put it back on the deck and pull a different one. They said, no, that's a card. So Our Lady of Soul Birth coming out again on Easter. I think that's pretty synchronistic here. I already brought through New Direction. They're giving me the words again. So what else would be highest and best for you guys to know about this card here? I feel feel like this has just been a standard message. I'll just bring it through again as just a reminder, but they're just saying the world is rebirthing, like the earth itself in a way, or at least the energies therein. So if you need a rebirth or need support, let me see where they're redirecting me. It could be helpful to get on the ground, to get grounded, get in contact with the earth in some way, shape, or form, or connect with the earth. Beyond that here, what's the main message with the Our Lady of Soul Birth here? Getting grounded and like getting connected with the earth, they're also showing me that would help you get your like soul more grounded in you, interestingly enough, or just help to like root that a bit more. And I feel like that would also just help you get more clarity in your life, interestingly enough. I used to have an energy work instructor, and one thing she would say when she would set her intentions to be grounded was she'd be like, okay, I asked to be grounded, but I also asked that anchors my connection to the divine. That's not exactly where they're leading, but it's kind of close, where it like just roots your soul more in your body, and you can be more embodied and just more able to take action in a clear-headed way is something I'm showing. So that might just be important to get in touch with the earth and the earth's resonance right now. Our Lady of Resurrection, also hilarious on Easter. Coming out here is the next card. So what's the main message here? They're giving me the word, it's not really a word, but instead of bloom, it's like re-bloom. Some of you are going to be getting second chances where like an opportunity passed you by, or like a relationship ended. And I'm not saying your ex is coming back, but what I am saying is like you might get a second chance at love with someone else, or like the second chance to experience something comes back around. If you do get that opportunity and it resonates, I definitely take it. I kind of get this message like you only get so many chances. I feel like that's only with certain things though. I really feel like there is a quote that I really like I want to say on top of this, and it was like more of a business quote, but there was some businessman who I don't remember the name of, and he was saying like opportunities are like buses. There's always another bus that comes. At the same token, I feel like you don't want to miss the second chance. That's kind of coming up here. So whether it's a relationship or new love, or the chance to experience love through a new love, or whether it's an entrepreneurial thing, like jump on those second chances that come in. So for others of you who don't feel like that really applies, what is the rebloom message about for you here? For others of you, if it doesn't feel like a business opportunity, it's a second chance to be you, weirdly enough, or to go to a direction that suits you. I get this message like if you pass by where you're supposed to go or be, you're always going to go on a loop that brings you back to where you're supposed to be. And I feel like this period kind of just sees one of those, like, you're going to be brought by that path again of where you're supposed to go, just to kind of, not to see if you'll take it, but to get that opportunity to take it. So some of you will have that like second chance come to do that, essentially is what I'm getting as well here. The other message coming through for you guys is like things are going to be better than you realize. There might be a lot it might seem like there's a lot to worry about, or maybe things are good for you on a personal level, and hopefully they are. But things are actually going to be way better than you imagined if you're willing to ask for that, but two, if you take the chances the universe is giving you to move in those directions towards that better, essentially, and don't run the same patterns over and over again as well. And again, they're kind of revisiting the message of like things being black and white and turning to color. It's kind of like another version of that, because it's more like, I think that, but your life, but going deeper into it. And you could see this as a message of like 3D to 5D, like as a total like transformation like that. But I see like this big jump in your life where it's like black and white to color was a big jump on TV, but it's going to be similar to that, but more appropriated for your life and your circumstances, essentially, where it's moving from like 2D to 3D or 3D to 5D or something like that. It's just like going deeper, it's expanding, becoming more complex and vivid and more alive, essentially. And life is a theme, essentially. It's like this, the universe is like almost asking you to consider what brings you more life, what makes you feel alive and joy and vibrant and like a blooming flower, and like move that direction is one of the things that they're talking about. So I'm going to pull, so what else do we want to get to for this message here? Again, we do have a message again about like magic on a rise. Like I have dragons showing up again, but this is for the collective read instead of for that one individual. And it's this message like you are more magical than you realize. Again, you're going to see more evidence of that coming up here, where you're just shown more about that. So anything else on that before I move to the next image? The other thing they're showing me is like a crawdad, or if you guys are familiar with that, or a crawfish, crayfish, whatever it's, however you pronounce it. And it's almost like reminds me of like Louisiana, where they have, I think they have the crawfish broils or something like that. So why are we talking about crayfish right now? Weirdly enough, if you see crawfish or crayfish as like a sign for you, I'm getting that's a sign of abundance. So if you see a lot of those boys, BOI boys, that's a joke, but that is a symbol of abundance, or that abundance is coming in for you, interestingly enough. So what else is going on with the crawfish symbology? The word they're also giving me with the crawfish is party, interestingly enough. And it's almost like either you have a celebration coming up, or the universe wants you to celebrate more, like celebrate your life and celebrate what you're here to do. It's like the more you celebrate, the more you have to celebrate is pretty much what they're talking about. So the more you can bring celebration into your life, even if it's small things like celebrating you, the more you're going to have to celebrate, essentially. So I'm not saying you have to throw a party for yourself every day or every week, but any small way you can celebrate yourself is definitely recommended. So what else is coming through for you guys right now for Easter, going forward here? One thing they want to say is I feel like this is like a turning point collectively. I feel like we've kind of had a few, but I feel like this is like almost like not a slower one, but it's like, it's one of those you don't always feel right away. It's like you might feel different, but there's like a slow blossom to the fruition of the turning point, if that makes sense. Like you might have things starting now that don't germinate until like June, July, or August, or maybe even winter. But that's kind of what they mean by like this slow overhaul, if that makes sense. And it's kind of like in astrology, like the bigger, or the planets that are further away move more slowly sometimes, so you don't see as much action from them. Or you see a lot of action from them, but you don't see them change signs a lot and change what's going on as quickly. It's kind of more like that, but it's like it's something that's sustainable and sturdy, as opposed to like a quick fix that like instantly flips over, if that makes sense. Or like if you've ever seen the videos of like the people in a cardboard box boat that are in the water, and like they just made a really quick cardboard box boat for this cardboard box boat competition, and it just like sinks because they didn't take any time to like design it. Or I don't know, maybe you can paint over it with some type of something that seals the cardboard so it doesn't just sink and get soggy. But that's something they're showing me as well, interestingly enough. Of course, like, would it be an Easter reading if they didn't give me a dove? So what is the dove about here? I'm getting the words peace offering. Did we cut out here? Are we back? Okay, how are we doing? Where were we? Last we heard was dove and peace offering. Okay, cool. Yeah, pretty much. Let me get back to dove and peace offering. Like some of you are being offered a peace offering from the universe, and it's like an opportunity to step out of struggle, or like a fighting, whether it's with another person or like in yourself, essentially, is what I'm getting. Yeah, peace offering coming, whether it's from a person or from the universe. For some of you, it's an opportunity that like gets you out of a work situation. For others, it's like a situation with a relationship where you have the ability to have more peace. But anything else that's important about that one? And pretty much the message I'm getting is peace is coming if you're willing to have peace, which is good. And again, they're switching to, they're giving me a visual of the road to opportunity, essentially. I feel like for some of you, if you haven't had an opportunity that's big yet, you're going to have an opportunity that's bigger or big, or like, for some of you, it's like a finally message. For others, it's like an opportunity to be more yourself, or have a space that feels more you, and not feel as bogged down by life, which is good too. So anything else that would be for you guys good? We're pulling another card here. The next message I have here is the card I have here, is listening for truth, interestingly enough. So I want to see what the message is for this, with this card for you guys here. One of the messages, like with all the gears turning over in the back, is like, don't get caught in the cognitive. or the mental realms. It's like be open to the energetic ways to pull yourself out of situations. Like sometimes when you get caught in the mind about things, like it doesn't help. Like it just keeps, the gears keep turning and the gears keep turning. But if you're willing to look for other solutions outside of that, whether it's with energy work or setting intentions or asking the universe for help, like things are going to get better. Another message is, of course, the truth is going to be unveiled more strongly. Like there is a lot of light hitting the earth right now, but it's more like higher lights. It's not like someone turned a light switch on and the IKEA lamp of Mars is shining on Earth. It's more like from the highest realms, from true source, from the universe, like higher light is hitting Earth. So that does have a tendency to like cause us to shed or cause us to unveil more truth, or for more truth to be unveiled, essentially. And that is a bit of a theme of the next season, is like more truth, especially on like a personal level, like in relationships, or what is your personal truth, or self-examination of like things from your past, if that makes sense. Like you're getting more truth of like how you used to be and who you are now, is something they're talking about. And it's not always a comfortable thing. Sometimes it's like a post on Facebook from like 5 years ago and you're like, oh, I can't believe I posted that. Or it's like, I don't know if I feel like, I don't know. That's like just an example that's coming to me right now here. The next message I'm getting is there is going to be a lot of hatching right now. Also a funny Easter theme. Like a lot of the seeds you've been planting like last year, a lot of the things you've been manifesting or wishing for, like some of the things are about to pop off like in the next month or so is what I'm getting, where you have more eggs hatch and things manifest. And it might not be everything you want right away, but it's at least the beginning of it, if that makes sense. Or like the universe is churning to get you the full manifestation, even if you only get part of it right now. And some of you, weirdly enough, like with this machine they're showing me that's turning out these manifestations or these eggs that are hatching, it brings like an IOU note, interestingly enough. So if you get a note from the universe that says IOU, or you ask for something and it's like, it seems like it's coming, but then like something else shows up and you kind of get this IOU message, like trust that. Because that comes with interest. You're going to be getting something much better in the future. Like maybe you wanted to date a specific person and it just doesn't work out. You're going to be getting something much better in the future. Or if you keep trying to build something and it keeps falling apart, like you're going to be getting something much better in the future is something I'm getting. So weird message, but I hope that makes sense. And I remember one, like the way I can give a personal story as well. Like one time I was thinking about something I'd been manifesting or asking about, or something like someone said, like an intuitive friend said something was coming, or some reading somewhere was said something was coming. And I was like, oh, well, where is this thing? And I was like thinking about it, and this car drove past me, and the license plate literally said, as I was thinking about this thing, IOU, like IOU note. I was like, universe, no, but it worked out. So anything else that would be for the highest good to bring through for you guys here? Another message is just that you guys are divinely protected. Like they're just showing me like dragon scales and the concept of dragon scales. And the other thing is like dragons don't mind fire. Excuse me again. Excuse me once again. So if you feel like you're in the fires of life at all, like just keep going. Like you're not getting burned as badly as you think you are. And you might just come out the other side unscathed, even if it felt a little hot or felt like there was heat under your seat for some time as well, is another message coming through for you guys here. They're also showing me green, and there's like a scenery with a lot of plants. And then there's like, it's interesting because it's like Eve in the Garden of Eden or something like that is like here. And like the message that's coming through with this visual is like, you didn't mess up. To me, I was raised Catholic, so I know about all that stuff. I've heard about all that stuff, at least from Catholic people, when I was growing up. But what I get is like, to me, original sin doesn't exist. To me, sin doesn't exist in the first place because it's like a weird judgment of everything, of what's right and wrong. But God doesn't really judge in the first place. Human judge, and then humans think God's judge because humans project on the divine, which is something that's one of my, I don't want to know if you call it a pet peeve, but it's one of my like, why do people do that? Like it's clearly different. But I understand why people do it and have compassion for it. They're kind of taught to. But what am I getting at? Sometimes you think you messed up or there's something inherently wrong with you. and then there's nothing wrong with you. It's just like people painted this story or picture for you that like, oh, like you're so overly traumatized and all these terrible things. And it almost like, I don't want to say it causes like a hypochondriac type thing, but it's just like this thing, like sometimes you think something's wrong with you, but there never really was. And it's like things that went exactly as planned on a higher level, and things are going to get better for you on the future. So it's just this reminder, like you didn't mess up and there's nothing wrong with you is pretty much what they're saying for you guys. For the vast majority of you guys watching this, you just were told a story that you were wrong, and that's like where that kind of germinated from. But it's kind of time to nip that in the bud as well, something I'm getting. So anything else for you guys here? This card coming out again, which is good. What you want wants you. I'm getting the terminology divine manifestation. This is hitting way hard. Good, glad to hear it. What you want wants you. I'm getting the term divine manifestation. Some of you, like some of your manifestations are getting overridden and replaced with better ones. And I would say sorry, but I don't think the universe is really sorry. It's just like it knows better. And sometimes you're asking for pennies when you deserve like millions of dollars in cash, or sometimes you're asking for like breadcrumbs when you deserve the whole loaf is kind of what I'm getting. So I would paint this as a good thing. But for some reason, that's what I'm getting with this card is like some of your manifestations, at least for most of you, like they're either not big enough or just not quite as aligned as you would hope. And so it's kind of getting a little bit overridden, but it's for the highest good and you'll probably like it a lot better. You will like it a lot better is what I'm getting here. For some reason I'm getting this message, and let me take a second to see how they explain it, because they're showing me this painting in the color yellow and they're saying don't paint a new picture, let the universe paint a new picture. So give me 1 second to see what that means here. One message I'm getting is like sometimes you think, maybe not all of you particularly, but sometimes what can happen for people is they think they need to decide everything for themselves, or everything's going to go to crap, or they need to make every choice or else. But sometimes you can let the universe decide for you and make like a decision for your life. And so that might be a little experiment you could do, is ask the universe to be like, okay, whatever the highest and best choices would be, universe, like make some of them for me and just guide me. And that can be through signs and synchronicities that shows up, or if something gets roadblocked or taken off your path that you were considering, something like that could happen. But that's one of the messages they have for you as well, is like, and for some of you as well, where you thought you were painting the picture of like a new life or changes you were making, it was actually like the universe was the one guiding the brush strokes you were painting metaphorically in your life, to create anew. So some of you might think you're creating a new life if you're doing that, but the universe actually is through you, is one thing I'm getting, which hopefully is like a relief of some sort, because it's divinely guided. But I feel like for a lot of you, if you're trying to make changes, like you're trying to make the right changes for most of you. Next, they're showing me a ghost. And what is the ghost about here? Pretty much what they're showing me is like anything false in your life is going to be like crumbling. It's kind of like a ghost is like many ghosts are depicted as see-through, or you can reach right through them. They can't really harm you. It's just a specter, I guess you could say. Anything that's false or like a ghost, you could say in that way, is like it's going to start to crumble, like the illusions, the things that like, especially if you feel like there was like a wall in your way, like blocking your path, like you're going to see like the wall isn't really there, or it just crumbles away. Like it was like a thin layer of like, I don't know, parchment paper or like tin foil, and you could have just reached through it the whole time. They're showing me something like that, where like any falsity is crumbling right now in a big way, especially in the coming months. And you're going to see that on the world stage. You're also going to see that in your personal lives, and maybe even within you if you had any like false beliefs, which can be a really good thing sometimes. It can be really liberating if you thought you were this terrible person, but then you're like, oh, no, I'm not. I was just being gaslit or whatever, or you know what I mean. So what else would be highest and best for me to get to before we wrap up this collective general reading here? Last, or maybe second to last card coming out is defend to the end the worthwhile. So let me see what this message is for you guys here. So what would be highest and best to come through for you regarding this card? For those of you who have been fighting for something or feel like you've been fighting for something or like struggling through to get somewhere, like everything you've been going through is worthwhile. Most of you guys, you've not been wasting your time if you've been working towards something or if you've had to defend yourself. It's worth moving towards those things. And I feel like at least some of you are going to find lasting success with some of the moves you're making. Others of you are finding like the stepping stones that get you towards like more of what's for you and what that success is essentially. But anything you've been building, especially if you feel like it's been in alignment with your purpose and what you're here to do, it's pretty much, a lot of it's being built to last, or it leads you to what is meant to last, if that makes sense. Another just reminder that's coming through is, of course, like defending the worthwhile. Like you guys are just worth anything you desire. And of course, like the earlier message that came through, sometimes the universe does override your manifestations if it's like not good enough, or if there's something way better for you that is trying to bring in. But that just kind of proves your worthiness more, I would say, than anything else. And in this card, it almost looks like this woman is crying in some way. It's either face paint or it's her mascara is running. But I feel like you guys are not going to be crying. If you're crying or have been crying, you're not going to be crying much longer. Things are going to the tears are going to dry up, and it's going to kind of be replaced more with like abundance instead of like tears, is weirdly enough what they're showing me, which will be good here. But that's it, they're saying. The only last thing that really jumps out to me are the feathers on this card. Of course, there's an owl and there's feathers. Like these look like feathers on the end, which to me is like a symbol of angels, but that's what I'm getting for you guys. Okay, last message I'm getting is there's this jewel on the owl's forehead. It looks like a jewel. It also kind of looks like a third eye, but it jumped out at me as a jewel first. And they're saying like, you guys are the jewel. And I'm also getting this weird message like your life is worthy. So don't think you're here just to be down and dismal all the times. Like your life is worthy to be good. Like your life is worthy to prosper and have good things. So just a reminder, I suppose, on those things. But I do see a lot of things sprouting for you guys, whether it's manifestations, things you've been building. And just a lot of the new is going to be sprouting like really soon here if it hasn't already been for you guys. Like those seeds either have been planted or they will be planted. Things are going to be sprouting soon. But that's it. So I hope this has been good for you guys. Hope that made sense. You have a beautiful week too, $1 Jillion Priestess. May you be blessed. There's nothing wrong with crying over everything. The owl standing out to me. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. So I really, really have to use the restroom right now. I don't know if I'm going to be going too much longer with this live, to be honest, but I'm gonna go to the restroom, come back and just see what I'm guided to do. I'll be back in like 2 minutes, but I really have to go, so I'll be right back. All right, who's still here? Okay. All right. Yeah, I think I'm going to start wrapping it up. I'm going not to keep going too much more here. But I hope I hope the general reading was good for you guys, first and foremost. Hope that was helpful. Maybe I'll try to structure those more going forward to get more like a spread going or something like that. Hey, how's it going? But I'm going to start wrapping this up. But I hope this has been good for you guys. Maybe I can answer a few more if I'm guided to. But any other... I wonder if there's anything else. What would be best for me to do right now? I love the free flow of the general. Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. That's good. I mean, if you guys like it, that's good. Thanks, Trish Moore. I appreciate it. You guys are welcome. No, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. I hope this has been a good, hopefully a good way to spend your Easter Sunday. It always means so much that you guys are getting good things from this and that this is helpful to you. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting a need to end it. So I guess just to do I'm trying to be better about self-promoting, but I do have one more card. Okay, one more card. Yeah, let's do it. This kind of just lines up with everything I was already saying in a little bit, but new birth, guarded vigilantly. One last collective card here for everybody here. Pretty much what I get is you guys are going to be growing like really rapidly in the next few months here. Like that is kind of a collective thing happening, like a collective growth spurt. But I feel like it's not going to be as rough as you think. I get you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be more fun. It's more like you're learning the lessons with ease and potentially having more fun with it, which is good. Just make sure you're paying attention to how you're feeling and make sure you're not taking too much on at once, whether it's activity-wise or with people and socializing or anything else. As long as you're gauging you and how you're feeling about things, you're going to be okay with this growth spurt coming in here. But you could say this is a message for you guys of like a rapid growth spurt, but also a message of collective growth as well. You're also divinely protected as you grow. New birth, guarded vigilantly, as they say. So that's a good message as well. But that's kind of it. That's what I'm getting with that card. One more. Okay. Our Lady of Promise. And pretty much what I'm getting is, one, what's for you won't pass you by, but what's promised to you won't pass you by. Whether you had a reader bring through a message that like something was promised to you or something else, essentially like if you were promised something and you never got it, like you're going to be getting things that you were promised that you never got, essentially. If you don't feel like you were promised anything, what does the message mean for you guys here? For the vast majority of you, things are really promised to be okay. And if you're not sure if you're one of those people here, you're just going to be going on a path of tremendous growth, so things will be better than okay, is what I'm getting. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you know, when we've lived our lives and we go back to source, or however it works, they're like, yeah, that's pretty much how it works. You know, everything will be better than okay. So, and things are okay now. So I hope, yeah, that's what I'm getting here. Also, I'm getting a message about an Easter surprise. I'm curious if some of you will have, or most of you will have some type of Easter surprise either today or sometime this week come up. That's just like either a positive blessing, whether it's small or big, or sometimes some type of surprise like that, excuse me. All right. Hopefully that was good for you guys too, the one more card. Are you still doing personal ones? For the live, probably not. I can probably do a couple more, but I'm also kind of getting to wrap up the live here. You're welcome, guys. Beyond that, I do, of course, have personal readings through the link tree in my TikTok bio. You're welcome, of course. Also, I do have Reiki 2. If anyone's already Reiki 1, I do have Reiki 2 coming up this Saturday, and then beyond that, I have another class in a couple weeks. That's would it be for that? It's good for me to promote it. I'm going to promote it later. Don't worry about it. I'm going to promote it later, they're saying. But I do have some energy work classes and readings available if that's something you're interested in doing with me, essentially. Because I know there's a lot of great people out there, so just find the best one for you. That's what's important, of course. but okay, Baby Fairy Ash, I think I'll do a quick one for you, and then I'm gonna head out, and then yeah. So for you, oh, you're getting this card too. So this card came out for someone else earlier, but I'm getting Restore and Replenish is the card coming out here. And I'm getting this message like you need to heal. So I definitely I'd be taking breaks from anything, especially things that are like just running you ragged. If you feel like you run ragged or you need a break from anything, like take that break, even if it's just a week or a small moment of time, like that's gonna be worth it. The more you're focusing on your healing, the better. I tend not to recommend like going balls to the wall and just being like, all right, I just need to focus on my healing for 12 years and just dig in, and then like you haven't really made progress. Maybe you've healed a lot, but it's like, has your life really gotten better, or have you just been stuck in the healing for 12 years? But if there's anything that's coming up to be examined or healed, like let it be open to that. That's going to be helpful. Any self-examination would be probably really helpful right now. And if there is anyone in your life who is snake-like, by the way, I'd try to let go of them if they've proven themselves to be snake-like. That's not something you need to have around you. It's not going to be helpful, essentially. And pretty much to clarify, they're like, if they've shown you through their actions that they are like that, let them go, essentially. It's probably not going to get better. So beyond that, what else do you need to know right now? I'm also getting the message, bring it into form. Well, I'm not getting the message. The card bring it into form is coming out, but the message I'm getting is, it is this, but it's a little bit different. Once you feel more well-rested, it is definitely like go time in your life. And I'm kind of getting for you, the next few years in your life are like a building phase. It's like building what you want to see, manifesting, bringing things into form, essentially building. And if you're willing to go through that phase and like put in the work, you're going to be much better for it. So right now I'd look at self-healing, but I'd also in the future look at building, and that's building yourself, but it's also building like either. One second. Usually it cuts out. Oh, thanks for the sunflower, Baby Fairy Ash. But your business, your career, it's something like that, and building that, you're going to be in a much better place. So what does this even mean? Because they're almost showing it like a pyramid being built, and it's like you have like 2 levels of this pyramid being built, but it's like halfway complete, or it's not quite there. So like the next few years are almost like completing this pyramid, so to speak, and getting yourself to a better place that way. They're also showing me dandelions, interestingly enough, as a message. I know those are starting to sprout here. And I was just having this conversation. I had a couple conversations just like this in the span of like a few days. It was someone I was doing a reading for, and dandelions came up, and they were talking about like, yeah, like usually like dandelions come up and everyone thinks they're weeds, but I really like them. And then the other person I was talking to, they were talking about how, like dandelions come up and they don't like how people treat them like weeds, because they actually have a lot of really amazing medicinal properties. Happy 11/11. It's not 11/11 where I am, but it's cool that it is where you are. And so it's kind of just like, what's the main message for you though regarding dandelions here? It's kind of like this reminder, like don't regard every little thing in your life as like a weed, because like sometimes if it's a lesson that's there to teach you something, or sometimes there's good in the perceived bad, because dandelions aren't really inherently bad. We just have this, or not we, people just have this story that it's a weed and it's bad and it needs to be poisoned to death. And we need to ruin our soil and everything to make it happen. It's kind of messed up, but it's like, it's actually good if you look at it. Like you can make dandelion wine, you can make, you can pick dandelions and they actually look pretty cool. You can pick up a dandelion that's, that's starting to, I don't know if you call it die, but it's starting to transition and it has little seeds and you can make wishes with it. Like there's a lot of really cool things about them. So, not everything in your life that looks like a dandelion, quote unquote, actually is like a bad thing. It's actually serving a purpose, and at the right time those weeds go away and something else replaces it, and something better probably. But that's what I'm getting as well for you regarding your life right now. So don't look at the annoying things as bad, look at them as something that's teaching you something important, essentially, is what I'm getting. But I'm getting that's it for you. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that made sense. I feel like you're gonna have a good life also, just in general. Like that's something that's coming through as like a last message, like a good time, a good life. Like things do get good, and maybe there's some trial periods or things you have to work through, but it'll be like water under the bridge once you're like through the worst of it, I suppose you could say. I'm not saying like all these terrible things are going to happen to you. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to paint the picture the way they're providing it. So, but that's it. You're doing great. Hope that helps. Hope you're doing great. But that's so true. Not judging a book by its cover. Yeah. So I hope that helps, Baby Fairy Ash. I hope that you're doing well out there. I feel like you're doing pretty well. Thank you so much. That was extremely helpful. I really appreciate the guidance. You're so welcome. I'm glad to hear it. That means a lot. I'm really glad to hear it. Okay, guys. So that's it. I'm probably gonna part ways with y'all today. Again, I do offer paid one-on-one readings through the bio on my link tree. I do have Reiki 2 coming up if you're a Reiki 1 and somehow that lines up for you. And then I have the modality that I channeled through I'm teaching in a couple weeks as well, Valeumi. It's the first class for that modality. So if anyone's interested in that, you can reach out either through my website or in some other way, and I'll talk to you about it there. All right, but I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your Easter, and I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next week for sure. All right, guys. I feel like it feels like an abrupt ending, but all right. Take care, guys. I'm out of here for today.